Bye.
And welcome everyone to Sunday Nights, where a bunch of us LARPers play Dungeons and Dragons in one of the worlds that we LARP in. In this particular case, it's Althea. And welcome.
Do you want to have the world's worst character introductions?
Worst character introductions?
Like 2 sentences per character.
Yes, alright.
I'm willing to do it.
Do it.
2 short sentences. Winged Deathbringer. French peasant. French peasant midget. Dragonborn kill machine.
Not so much. I haven't actually managed to kill anything yet.
Apart from other Dragonborn, that's one.
No, that was
sorry.
That was him.
That's true.
Your description will just be Ignatius D then.
Yeah, that works.
He could be Dragonborn killing machine.
Human upstanding citizen. Dwarf. Drunken friend.
Mascot.
Van Warren.
Mascot. He's mascot.
Desert warlock.
There we go.
Oh, sure, you get the nice words.
Sand monkey.
Alright, because recently we were given permission to actually post about this particular group in the Soulcraft channel, so I'm basically just going to use this, even if there's not many people watching. Soulcraft Quest is coming up at the end of September, for last week of September, so tickets, if you haven't bought any, buy them. Secondly, we'll be away for those 2 weeks, so it'll be the last and second last September, because we'll be at Quest. Maybe. And then, we'll be doing all that type of stuff and then coming back. And we probably could play on the Sunday night we get back, but I'm pretty sure we're all going to be tired, ratty, and unconscious probably. Passing out somewhere.
It'll be pizza, beer, shower in that order.
Yeah, pretty much.
Beer in the shower?
Shower beer.
That's a lot
Shower
better than
pizza.
pizza in the shower.
I don't know what a soggy pizza.
Get some
like.
really strong
No.
beer and then water it down in the shower.
I don't know. If you put some over the
Don't
top,
do
have
any
beer in the
pizza.
shower is pretty decent.
No.
I take it you speak.
You need it on tap
Yeah,
too.
I do.
Like you need like beer on tap in your shower. Just hope that you don't pour that one on first when you try and go.
Shower with water with beer.
Also, if there are people who are watching at home or wherever you are, feel free to put comments in the chat box as well. And we may not read them at the time, but we will get to them eventually.
And have a good laugh.
And have a good laugh. Yes.
And let us know if the audio isn't working.
Actually, we went through that this afternoon and managed to get it to be quite well. So hopefully everything's got very little static and you can actually hear us quite well.
There was a lot of listening to ourselves talk. It was
Sorry?
great.
Is this one still functioning? Probably.
Probably.
Okay.
It's
Other
plugged
than
in.
that,
Just like
we
what it
look
is.
forward to seeing cameras at Quest.
Cameras at Quest.
Yeah, whoever's on the other side of me.
Good point.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I haven't
Moving
confused it. Moving on.
The only camera we expect to see, Chris.
All right then.
Still have to send an email about that. Moving on.
Last we left off, the party have decided that they need to travel to another part of Althea to investigate ongoings with the cult of Xanafeld. They had been given information that one of the providers of their income came from Musalon, of all places. And so they decided that they need to travel to the port of Warmia to get a ship. And then travel off to essentially Eris. They have left Gdansk and they are now traveling through the roads of Lower Warmia. This is about a 2-day travel. It's usually mostly uneventful. And you travel along and you get the usual things you see at this particular part of the season. A lot of it is troops from both the Highwaymen, the Coterie, and somewhat the Order, but to a much less extent. The Coterie look like they're the most of the numbers though, and they look like they're trying to reform themselves and perhaps look elsewhere, perhaps going back north to Sylvania and taking back their capital from the Highwaymen, and perhaps the Highwaymen here to look at further exploration. And the Order, They do what the order do, and then basically look to taking back these lands
Bring no water.
and bring no water. Your first day is mostly uneventful. You do manage to cross paths with a few groups here and there. You had nice quick words with them, said how would you do, and talked about the day. Asked about any ongoings that they knew of, and they just told you stuff that you already do. Every once in a while, someone would overtake you coming from Gdansk, have a quick chat with you, say, "Hi, Ignatius D."
Of course they do. You're so famous.
You get to the crossroad after your first day, and you finish the night, and you recognise the temporary tent setup of the temporary town that's existed at this crossroad. You've been here before. You've gone to the normal tavern you've been to before that gets set up here. It's changed by this time. Someone else has set it up and given it a different name, and different people are running it. But it's still the same in a sense. It's set up in the same spot, and there's another ale that they sell that is mostly watered down and a few drinks here and there. But it is a very common place for everyone to be, and it is where you have your night's drinks, food, and whatever else you need. But you decide you have a mission, so you decide to get to bed early, and then wake up in the morning and head down to the port of Warmia. So we will start as you guys finish the day. It is now evening, round about 6 p.m, and you rock up in the town of Warmia.
Okay.
You realise at this particular time of the day it might not be worthwhile looking at getting travelling ship, but it might be. It depends on you.
No, now it's an excellent time.
Now is probably an excellent time. So you
Most
can,
ships will sail on the dawn.
that's true, they will. That's true.
Or we could spend time at the Salty Dragon.
You're so American.
I would like to.
I feel like the chef and I have got on terms.
That's good.
Oh, no, you healed him. You saved his life.
After killing him.
Yes, but people don't remember the last 15 minutes after. Is that going to become a thing?
It is now.
I've got something that I would like to say that I spent the 2 days traveling doing. It's going to be quick. Basically, if anybody cared to pay any attention to Rowan while he was traveling, he was doing one of two things. One was weaving flowers into a basket, and the other was periodically jumping off the back of the wagon and collecting mildly poisonous like berries and mushrooms from the side of the road and just storing them all in a bag.
Alright. Yeah, we are
In
actually...
related news, Rowan is not cooking food.
Yes, we are a bit quiet. That is one of the audio problems we've actually had. We know you basically just got to turn us up to hear us, but we've hopefully got rid of the static and the general voices. Once you have turned us up, you'll be able to hear us quite well. Hopefully. Ideally. Yes.
Along the trip, could I have been working on my potion?
Yes.
Along the trip, because I've been riding.
Yes, you could have been riding a horse.
Oh, good.
He's just walking.
So, I mean, there's horses in Althea.
Just turn up the output a little bit.
No, we've got an ass, not a horse.
We've got 2 asks.
Yeah.
Technically,
Perfectly well on.
So
It's fun.
I'm
like 4
still
foot
hung
nothing.
back. Been
Yep.
following about a kilometre behind the party, so they're probably still not aware of where I am.
You guys have left that particular town not knowing where Rayleigh disappeared to, but you had a rough idea that he may be following behind or ahead of the party.
He left a note for.
Yes, he left a note.
So
So you know he's in the general area. Alright, so you want to travel to the port tavern of the Salty Dragon?
Well,
We might as well
think
go
we-
visit.
go down to the docks first and see if we
Well,
can find
the reason why it's a Salty Dragon is essentially because it's a dock side tavern. It is most likely a place you'll go to actually meet up with other sailors and stuff like that. It was called the Salty Dragon because it was a seaside thing, not because of other things.
You sure? I mean, like, yeah, totally.
like what?
I was actually going to call it the Sea Salt Dragon, or tavern or something like that.
Well, we do need somewhere to park our ass.
Might be nice to revisit the place where we first all met.
Yes. You guys been here before?
Oh yes, of course. We haven't. Oh, we need to go back. It'd be entertaining.
Rowan, be prepared for a very good story.
Okay.
Amber?
And for the rest of the travels from like this moment to the tavern, I'm just regaling to him all of our tales of that rat encounter.
Ah, the rat
In reverse
encounter.
chronology.
Of course, no. I start with the wraith and how I died. And then
And the, and the poor tiefling that is now
Ash.
on my belt.
no.
Everybody says it.
Yes,
That bag
who's
is
inside?
always going to come up.
What's sad is I don't even remember his name. I feel terrible.
I
I
don't,
don't,
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
say
think anyone knows the name.
I do. Do you know what it'll be?
I know you do, it's your
worse?
character.
Even worse, if other people get disintegrated, other characters get disintegrated and put into the same bag, and then we try to resurrect it.
Abomination.
Which one do we get?
14 arms.
So we do
But
rendition.
with wild magic, so it's just gonna blow up at some point.
We do renditions of the fly.
You accept it? No, nothing to That's the name of this.
You travel through the town, the seaside town of the Port of Warmia. You head into the dock area. You hear that familiar clip-clop as your feet transverse across all the wooden planks in the area, and you enter into the tavern. It is a busy night.
I just want to say, I am here, I'm home.
It just kind of feels.
As you enter into the tavern,
Come
you
behind
see
him and give
this
you a wink.
this large gentleman, sitting there with his
Spit rag.
spit rag and his tankard in his hand, sort of like, talking to someone else and having a thing. Door opens up and sees you. He stops. And it's Mary just on the other side of the, just next to him, basically. Oh no.
Oh, God.
Mary.
What? What do you want?
Ale.
Hello!
You gonna cause any particular problems this time?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're the one that had the rat problem.
You invited those rats! What are you talking about?
There's rats?
No,
Excuse our new friend. He's,
we shouldn't be allowed to do the talking.
yeah, don't, please, just don't.
He's very
We're looking for, we just need to talk to a few people. We'll buy some beverages so that we're not intruding him, or we will keep everything calm.
Do a persuasion check.
Oh, God,
You talked!
Because I need.
why are you talking?
Because I need entertainment too.
I'm just gonna be behind him squeaking for rats going.
What do you...
No, they weren't
14?
friendly
Yeah,
rats.
overall?
Oh,
Yeah.
why not?
Well, it's a long story.
And you told me.
Antoine's last name, Dujois, just gave me huge Josie the Pussycat, the movie vibes.
What?
Have
that's
you
someone's
seen
comment.
that?
Someone's comment on
I thought your
dear.
predictive text had gone really.
Alright, he says, alright, long as I don't cause any trouble.
And please, no spitting in the drinks as well.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He does not spit in the drinks, just in the glass.
That's right, in the glass.
How much for one unopened barrel?
I mean,
One
like,
open
I'm
barrel.
all here.
Hey, Mary! It's right next to him. Mary!
Where did she start?
Dujois means crass positions.
this is where Mary pulls the barrel and puts him a molly.
I wonder what else is in there.
You don't want to know.
Maybe there's some rats.
Get the halfling. Dive,
Oh,
dive.
Oh, look at that.
It's actually a small barrel, so it's not a big barrel. Not one of their big barrels they have
It's
sort
like
of sitting out the back.
small pork barrel.
A little bit bigger than my portable one.
5 gold pieces.
And I will cast prestidigitation to chill it down so it's not body temperature.
Bosom temperature.
Oh, I don't think he likes my boot beer.
Mary. The fame of your beauty has spread far and wide.
Oh, you flatter me, sir. You flatter me, sir.
There actually is a song called Boob Scotch, but that's it.
What kind of alcohol is based on milk? I'm sure that there's one.
I feel like this is not a conversation.
There you go.
The Mongol drink.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fermented yakno.
Basically.
Sounds
Now, the unfortunate thing is that there's not actually any free tables. There's a lot of free seats here and there, but it's actually quite busy. There's a lot of people around, a lot of sailors. It's quite noisy. But there's no clear one table that you can take for all yourself, especially considering 7 of you.
If we put your shield on the dwarf's head, she will come to table.
Alright, let's do it. Come on, one. Oh, it's so happy. Come on.
Probably
I'll
good for the
sit-
dragonborn.
We go collecting all the chairs and we'll sit around the dwarf with the shield on.
I'll sit on the shield.
On the
I'll sit on the shield.
Grab you and drag you off. Yeah. Put the pour out some from the barrel.
Yep.
Put it on the shield and then spin that around.
So you've become a makeshift table essentially, and they're just basically standing around.
They just use me.
Happily.
And turn. Alright.
So, I have important question for the group here. Are we going to be using our names, or do we want new names here?
I think if we continue on with the aliases we've been using up until now, and we'll wait until we get to Eris to pick new ones.
I think that's
Very well. I'm
Because
fine with that.
people will probably
Senior
have
D.
come this way from Gdansk, and if our reputation from there allows us passage easier, I think that
It also depends on whether various times we may not want to continue with the reputation we earn in certain places.
That's why after we leave here, name change is probably in order.
especially for you.
And you'll just notice all of a sudden the table tips a little bit as one hand comes up. And I'm just reaching for my own little... And then it's like...
I'd be more annoyed when it gets.
sliding across the table as it's listening from side to side.
Just be thankful she doesn't get hiccups.
Yeah, be thankful she doesn't get drunk easily. Because she's sitting under there drinking.
Just like that.
The table is more drunk than the rest of the
This would be the first time ever in a role-playing game we ever might have to use a sentence. We need to leave here, our table is drunk. I am quite fine with this occurrence.
Someone just learned the spell animate object and then it's going to be fine.
We're going to dwarf. Why would you do that?
A table is an improvised weapon, right?
Yeah. The dwarf is an improvised weapon.
Dwarf is now.
So you can get the dwarf and use
You
that
can
as
throw
an
me!
Nobody.
So do we want to go looking around for some captains? I think it's best if you do the talking because my charisma's not high enough. I don't have persuasion. I can intimidate someone to do something.
But at this point, I've
Ignatius,
caught
is
out.
that not like,
I'm
you know,
caught up, but
Yep.
I'm still outside the tavern.
Okay.
are you not Ignatius? Is that not like automatically plus to, you know, charisma?
That's up to you.
Not for that.
Maybe intimidation.
Your fame only travels so far. It's like in Gdansk, yeah, absolutely. Beyond that, it might take a few months.
Try and find the less scummy-looking captain.
Those who are looking at potential ship captains or first mates or something along those lines to talk to,
I'm
just
looking at
do
shoes.
a general perception check to see what you see in the tavern.
Anyone with fancy shoes?
Fancy shoes. I do not see anything from my spot on the floor.
Ventul, no.
What is it? Investigate?
I'm paying absolutely no
No, no,
attention.
perception.
23.
9. I see a lot of shoes.
I see a lot of shoes too.
I think I've crawled
He was just like checking
under the
with me
table and then they
under the table and like, oh yeah, how's it going?
Alright, so if you got to more than 20, essentially,
The shield, here's me.
out of all of the particular people in this tavern, there's one that sort of sticks out as that type of person you're looking for. Very, for lack of a better way of describing it, very British. Sort of like, it's got that short, white greyish hair, sort of in that wave, that big mustache that you're very typical of. He seems to be wearing what looks like an old military captain's uniform.
I've seen this man. You've actually the Imperial Army.
It's more. This is more of a like you think it's blue, but it looks like it's that old and that ratty. Like he's wearing it more out of honor, perhaps, or nostalgia. One of those things. But he seems to also sitting at the table upright in that position and having a good old word with the people around
Does he
him.
have a stiff upper lip?
We have a stiff upper lip.
The stiffest.
The stiffest.
He starches it daily.
Yes.
The nice starch color, I bet.
He's there with he's there with a few others. Looks like one of the other people there with him is potentially one of his first officers. There's about 2 other people there with him. And obviously his sailors are probably throughout the tavern in different places here and there. Other than that, yeah. Others seem a bit more seedy, and you don't even know if they'll even go to the right place. You got to start talking to them. On the 15, and 15s as well, another guy you would have probably spotted would be a table that sits over in the far left of the corner of the room, and they're playing a small game of dice. One of them appears to be sort of throwing down a fair bit more money than the rest of them, and the rest of them are just sort of like getting really annoyed at the fact that their captain is constantly throwing down more money and just winning the game by just throwing down more money than they have. And that's the 2 people you notice that immediately notice that look like they might be ship captains.
I'll go and approach the British one.
And I should not approach the British one.
I'm going to come.
I have a
I
feeling
will
that there
follow
might
along.
be some
We'll follow along.
If anything,
Me
just
too.
to keep Ronch quiet.
So wait, they're splitting up.
It is fine.
You're still in the tavern.
Yeah, but they're going to talk to different people.
Yeah, so these 3 are going to talk to the English guy.
I'll probably just stay back for now, and I'll just sort of like I'll take my shield back and I'll put the barrel and I'll just find a seat and push it against the wall.
Oh, good, because
and
I
keep my
was just
eye
going to take the whole thing with me. That's all
out. I know.
Drinks to tables.
So yeah, I take my shield and just sort of like sit in a corner and I just walk.
Did you let me know? Because otherwise I'd still be hanging on.
Let go. Let go. It's fine.
It would have been hilarious if you just left the table and someone else tried to like sit down at it.
I was going to just like walk the table with you guys, but okay.
So as the party split off, I've walked in and joined the Dragonborn, sat down next to him, and just nodded, said nothing.
I should go to the dice table.
The dice table? Alright.
The dice table?
We'll go with the dice table first.
Sure. Might I join your game?
I'm with him.
Ah. You got the money?
What are we playing for? Silver, copper, gold?
Silver. Gold if you got them.
Sure.
Alright, sit down. What is your name?
My name is Antoine de Jeu.
Antoine de Jeu, hey? From Eris.
No.
It's most of the Frenchies come from there.
What's it? Southern Kachena?
Ah. That's the other place I would have picked, sure.
It's just on the other side of the hills.
Ah. I'm Captain Frederick.
Captain Frederick. And where do you hail from?
Somewhere on the map that I can't remember right this present moment of time.
Southern Quackington.
Southern Quackington.
So, having noticed the dice game, I'm going to come and join you.
Alright, we'll do with him for a little bit first, and then you can come and join.
He can slink around so quietly, no one notices him.
That's true, yeah, he can. It's just the first. We'll do with you first. You played this game before?
I've played many games of dice. What is the particular rules of this one?
He goes into the rules of the dice rolls. It's pretty simple. It's
Dice roll wins. Excellent.
yeah, pretty much. And there's a few other little conditions that are also involved with it. If you get this particular number or this particular sets of numbers and so on and so forth, doubles the pot or something like that.
Basically just a crapshoot.
Yeah, crapshoot.
I knew that he's coming.
Just roll a d20. What did you roll? Actually, you probably should bet first. We'll start you off easy. Silver piece?
Sure.
Alright, they all put in silver pieces each, so this is now a pot of 4 silver. These 2 other compatriots also roll for it. So we'll start again, we'll roll again.
That's alright, I can roll them one again. Oh, that's one.
Oh, you roll a 1, did you? Halflings.
So lucky. All the luck.
What did you get?
16.
16. Well, you seem to have won the pot.
Yay.
Ah, beginner's luck, hey?
Yes. Beginner's luck. Win. Win.
Alright. Alright, another silver piece.
How many silver pieces was that?
You won 3.
One, you won 3.
How many things? Oh, but it had more.
Nice, but
It started in your round, basically.
2 other people.
Okay.
Another round. What did you roll?
Still one. It was 5.
On rolling that is look at that. The magic number gets like 11 or something like that.
Anything bigger than 5, yes.
Yeah. No, like 11 on the dice type
Oh.
thing. Alright, well it looks like we all ante up again.
More money in the pot.
More money in a pot.
Sure.
Put some more silver into the pot. Roll away.
18.
Huh, 2 people got the same number. Which means we put ante in the pot again. Except the 2 people who got the same number don't have to put the ante in.
Okay.
So just you and the captain got to put another silver piece in.
So who got the same number?
The 2 other patrons who sit on the
okay.
table. Alright, getting interesting. Roll away.
12.
Yeah. Looks like I win. Captain wins. And it goes on like that for a while. You break even at some point.
Oh. Lucky me. Breaking even.
It rarely turns up at the table.
Frederick Hartrig, the best shipmaster in the city. Mangonel's masts, isn't it?
How do you know?
I live here, or used to. I move around all the place. I've always come from this area.
You seem to have me at a bit of a disadvantage then.
Oh, sorry.
Who are you?
My name's Rayleigh. My compatriot over there points to you. Been gambling a bit. He's pretty good, isn't he? Lucky boy.
Ah, he's alright. He's got money, which is good.
Sit down at the table with him. Look, we're looking for a ship out of here.
Shh. Oh, yeah? Where you looking to go?
Not sure. Where was it that we planned? Aris. I assume that's why you guys came down this way. Aris.
The Grand Principality.
The Grand Principal of Eris.
Would we need to stop off anywhere on the way to Aris, or can we basically just go straight across the sea?
No, because we'll have to go down, past the
Asteria.
Asteria and then back up to here.
Okay.
Pretty much going back to where I came.
Be
Following land was a little bit of
Yeah,
We're going around the three cities.
you'll be skirting the coast all the way.
Yeah.
We need to go high north on that. Down there is not Michelin territory.
Well, where is
They
Northern Aris.
Northern Elm?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to go down
here.
and up.
Yeah.
And land here.
Lane,
Well, we might
Laners.
need to get a ship halfway there and swap ships or something.
I assume the three cities would have ships. Considering they're totally water.
I mean, they did just lose 2 fleets recently.
Why do we cause that?
Oh!
Topical.
Including their dreadnought, I believe.
What a shame.
The Kaolin.
A shame.
I was there for that when it happened. I was like,
Named after my character.
oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one? Which character?
Kaolin. The original captain of...
Ah, the original captain of Frico, yeah.
And the master of arms of the Grand Expedition.
Yeah. No, sorry, my friend. I'm not actually going to Eris. I am actually heading to Tiefland.
Tiefland. Whereabouts is that?
That is in the northern Middle Sea. It is Avaland.
Ah, Ormar.
Yes, Omar.
So you'd still be heading around the coast
Then we just have to get one
We have
across.
to get around.
to Estro sort of thing. Yeah.
And then just take a look.
Are you? I cannot take, so shut up.
Do you stop anywhere along the way?
We can do. Yeah, we always got to stop off for supplies and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Do you mind if I enjoyed the game too?
By all means, come join.
I sit down and start playing a few rounds.
All right, you guys continue playing a few rounds for a few more. You can
Yep.
have a general conversation with him and get some information about where he's going, what he's doing, all that type of stuff.
Yep.
And then it's up to you guys now.
That's an option.
Talk to the other table.
So, what are we doing again?
We are trying to get a ship passage to the other continent.
Okay. I'll help.
By all means.
Very good, sir. As you hear as you approach the table.
My word.
My time. It's been many a night's my time, but since I've been on the sea, I've been travelling across these waters for quite some time. But of course, you've heard this particular story before, as he's talking to his compatriot at the same table.
Excuse me, good sir.
Oh, sorry.
Could I have a moment of your time?
Oh, a moment of my time. Oh, but of course, I can help you.
You seem to be a nautical man, is that correct?
Oh, jolly good, sir. Yes, I am.
We were looking at perhaps traveling by ship and wondering if you could recommend a good vessel.
Right. It all depends on where you're going, sir.
We wish to see the.
Do you have to
Arabian
basically make sure you
Nights.
talk to everybody, Captain? That's the other guy says. What are you talking about? He's a fine gentleman. Look at him. Upstanding.
Hello.
And he looks like his pet.
He's the
I
mascot.
prefer the term mascot.
Mascot works very well. I am myself and traveling eventually to Leonis. Is that how you pronounce it? Leonis. That's the word I'm looking for.
Which is literally where we need to go.
Well, how serendipitous.
That would seem to be quite close to where we are traveling to as well.
Ah,
Is there room for others to travel on your ship?
how many people are we talking?
Well, there'd be cabin space for at least 2 or 3, and then the rest maybe if they need to go on the deck or something like that.
What's going on?
We are booking a passage to the other continent.
So,
I would not want to impose on you and put you in some dark, dank little room down the bottom. You can be under the sky and under the stars.
Oh, thank you.
It's all very good, well, sir, but how many people are we talking about here?
I believe there would be 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Ah, excellent, excellent. Can we do that?
And maybe a couple of donkeys.
I make the sound of a donkey.
The other compatriot,
Yeah, a donkey.
the other compatriot basically pulls out a ledger and starts looking through his numbers. Yeah, I don't know, Captain. I don't know if this is a good thing to do. I don't know if we've got the room. We just might have to get a couple of the sailors to sort of double up in some of the rooms, and yeah, we could do it. It'll cost a bit though. Good sir, sir! I think that is a worthwhile thing. Me and my compatriot here must discuss numbers, of course, but are you going to be in tavern for quite some time?
Yes, we will be around tonight. When would you be sailing? On what day?
We are actually going to be sailing on the morning.
Very good. We will still be here. We have a table, or perhaps a dwarf will be sitting around.
Ha! Good sir! Looks over and sees the dwarf. I don't see no table though.
I'm just sitting with my battle axe next to these, next to.
There's more than meets the eye.
And less.
And
Significantly.
It's a transformative process.
Please,
My fire is
we'll
quite
speak with you
simple.
shortly.
excellent, excellent. We will discuss the numbers ourselves and then we'll get back to you. Alright, so
Get
they
back to the
start
group.
talking amongst themselves.
Wait, so while I'm guessing the opposite side of the tavern to Rayleigh, if I turn around having finished this conversation, have I seen him?
Seen Rayleigh?
Rayleigh,
Yes.
Sitting with the others.
Okay. I am going to take the basket.
While you're doing that, I'm going to say to you, is this going to be a problem?
I hope not.
Because I have planned to try and solve animosity.
Me too.
Remember how your plans sometimes, well, make laugh, but not always work. I have planned from old country. Two people have problem, put locked in the room with one knife. It cut down problems by 50%.
Effective. I think my plan's a bit nicer than that.
I think that is not the wisest choice in this current situation.
Okay.
Lock them in.
So,
Because Riley would go for knife, you change into bear, fair fight.
I agree. That's fine. But we want them to have most of their limbs intact.
is Amber kind of like halfway in between the two of us?
Mm.
Okay. What I'm going to do is just hand her a basket full of stuff and say, "Please take this to Rayleigh for me." And I'll say what's in it once it gets to her. Please.
Can I attempt to mage hand it out of
Alright, friend.
Your mage hand's not sharp. Yeah, take it over.
There's a favour for you.
What's in
Alright.
it?
It's not so much that in her hands that you just pull it away from that hand. That hand has no.
Can I like use it to knock it over, like tip it? So
I mean,
it
like,
over?
you'd be battling against my strength.
I'm pretty sure it's for like unattended.
Yeah. I was hoping to just like shove it.
face.
Battle axe, basket.
I watch what's going on, and I see her approaching, and I'm just like,
No, I'm already,
oh, no.
I'm already like near
Yeah,
you.
but like, I see what he's handed you, and I'm just like,
Okay, well, the moment Amber starts speaking,
Mhm.
because
I'm gonna
she's-
head over to you.
because she's loud, I immediately go, small grin, nice distraction. I'm going to roll a sleight of hand to switch out the dice for rig dice.
And mind you, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, friend, I got a gift for you.
Roll away.
Amber, how are we?
Well, good. How have you been?
I
We
roll?
haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I'm alright. What's up?
Look, I'm not really sure. I'm a bit short, but this is a gift from our friend.
I see. Roll.
As you do the exchange to try and change the dice around, he just thwack as the dagger in his hand scores right between in that area of your hand as you're about to do it.
Shit.
I'm gonna
very
just like,
perceptive bastard.
I've let go of the basket now because I'm assuming I put it on the table. I'm gonna like grip my axe and be like, "Oi!" And he's like, "Don't threaten my friend."
I don't think you understand what's going on here, love. I don't like cheaters.
I wasn't cheating, my friend.
No, you weren't. Yet. Because I saw what you're fucking doing. Get the fuck away from my table.
I stand up and start to back away. Fair call. And walk off slowly.
With the basket.
It's a gift from the table.
I pick up the basket. What's in it?
Okay. Essentially,
Dried herb.
you're holding a basket that's basically had lots of fragrant flowers woven into it. Except on one side, like really, really tiny flowers, just spell out poisonous kit. And inside the basket, there's like scalpel, some bottles, a mortar and pestle, and all those like
Mushroom.
slightly poisonous like berries and mushrooms.
Nice!
You can actually kill anybody with these poisons, but he's trying. and there's
Does that count as a poisonous kid?
No, it doesn't.
and there's a piece of paper just protruding out of the mushrooms that says, "Please ask before you kill animals. We're supposed to be a team."
Do I see that?
Yeah.
Non-poisonous.
I'm proud of my
Well,
friend.
what you basically see is a hamper.
For those watching at home, there was a slight issue of an anti-cavalry attack in a pub last night.
Yes.
Yeah, where Ignatius' fame became even more well-renowned when he punched a horse and it turned into an elephant.
That's really
Not just a horse, a war horse.
We'll call you the Exorcist.
Having noticed what it says written on the side,
There is some good stuff in this that you could use towards
Oh, no.
like the mortar and pestle is definitely something you use.
Okay.
Like there's bits and pieces
There are
and some of the
elements.
stuff that you've managed to collect. He has
Thank you.
some knowledge of plants and what that he can actually get his hands on to
Yeah.
make it worthwhile. So while it's not a complete poisonous kit and he couldn't use it as a poisonous kit, there are parts of it that could actually help.
Obviously, I'm going to pick out the parts that sort of help.
Mm.
And I'm going to leave some of the berries in it
Mhm.
and say, thank you for the talk, friends, back to the table. And just place the hamper on the table after having just scratched the flowers out of the side that say poisonous kid and place it on the table and walk away.
Of the people who are doing the game,
Of the gambling.
Okay.
Yes.
oh, look at you go. Just fuck off.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna be like,
And
walk away, I follow Rayleigh.
look
I
at
don't
the
like
druid and just nod slowly.
I'll
And just put the mortar and pestle in my pack.
I'll nod back.
Useful bits, basically.
That's a nod.
Okay, a question to the table. Do we let Mary take the rest of the basket as a gift?
She doesn't need a real bag of holding, no.
I do believe my welcome at this table is no longer.
Do one final dice roll against the table. See if you manage to break even, or win or lose.
No.
Oh,
Not unless you rolled under 4.
Classic.
All right, roll a d20. That's how many silvers you lost.
Oh.
15.
He cleaned you up.
On that last one, yes.
Yeah, that last one. Yeah, it went big.
I can't believe I screwed up a +10 sleight of hand.
Welcome to
I rolled a
D&D.
19.
Oh. Sucks.
I'm gonna go over to my friend, Rowan. I'm proud of you, friend. You did good. Clap you like straight on the back. You put on a little bit, but
On the
bang.
floor. That's
I
what
just like the idea that you
You
like
did good.
jump up to high five him on the shoulder.
Pretty much.
You like do this like Jordan run ups. Yeah.
With an great axe in the other hand.
There is good news. There is a ship traveling in the morning to Lyonesse in the Arisian coast.
What's the name of the sailor?
It is a judgment over
We said God name Endelbar.
We did not actually.
Get in the Endelbar.
Is he from Gdansk or the Port of Warnio?
Sorry?
Is he from around these areas?
No, he's from Eris himself, basically.
Okay, I'm just looking at him and like, don't know him.
But the ship would be traveling. They might be able to move some of the sailors, so that some of us can have cabin space, and others would be sleeping a bit rougher. Better than we have been outside.
I fit in a barrel. It's true.
Is this just going to be like one of those hotels in Japan where it's just
The coffin motel.
you put like a blanket and a shelf inside a barrel and just crawl in there every night?
What's the shelf for?
That sounds like corporate subdivision.
The
bunk.
only thing you put in a barrel is a hole.
I'm confused.
Good.
I'm gonna head to the dock.
What we could do is we get you to cook for the crew, and then to get rid of any cost, we pay them. They pay us not to have you cook again.
Me, my cooking is fine.
I can cook.
He's
I
a
have
He's-
a
he's
survival
thinking
of
he's
negative
nerd.
too. I can cook.
What?
I've been eating
Of
all
course,
the time.
wisdom.
They are going to be discussing the cost and then come back to us. So that would seem to be the best option we have at the moment. And they are sailing in the morning.
The problem is, if I cook for them and it's too good, they will keep me. I don't steal properly. I kill you later.
At this stage, I don't think I've ever sampled any of the like campfire cooking from the party because I've just been eating my own good berries.
Berries.
So I think Rowan's a bit curious at this stage. Like, what can you cook?
I can cook onions.
Oh,
And souffle.
Souffle.
If you want to try good food, you'll come with me to Shisha tent. We have shawarma. Okay. Great food from Nine Desert.
Sure.
Actually, yeah, I'll head back to the that shisha tent.
Yep.
Down by
Yes.
the marketplace.
Yes, by the marketplace.
I
Yes,
will-
yes.
I'll
So
actually
whether or not
follow
that's
you.
going to be an in-character thing. But
That's
yeah.
fine. We can do that as in character thing if you want. If you've got something you want to ask specifically, that's fine.
I was
We'll do
more
that.
also touch base because one of my contacts was
He's one of the guys who come here. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the regulars.
and
isn't
also just to get a taste of home.
he? Yep, that's fair enough.
Is it vanilla or cinnamon? Your taste of
All right.
home.
Before you decide to head off and go, that what you believe to be the first mate of the captain comes over to your area, to your dwarf.
No, I'm not a table anymore. He stole the shield.
It doesn't matter. You
All right.
point of the group.
So if I get this straight, it is all you seven that are coming along on this particular trip, eh?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's a long trip. You realise that? It's probably going to take a couple of months.
We've been smelling each other for months already.
It's been less than 2 weeks, I think.
What I really need to know is, can you hold yourselves in a fight?
Not sure if you've heard.
I'm gonna.
Do you
roll-
think this battle axe is for nothing?
This one, he has managed to suck the horse out of an elf. I can't remember.
I blushed deeply.
I thought it was the elf out of a horse.
I take a
tell-
very
tell-
deep breath
Mm-hmm.
and start regaling about the
I'm challenging you there.
Okay.
Tell a story.
I'm actually just gonna put my hand. Wait. I'm just gonna pull daggers, and I don't know what check this is. Sleight of hand dexterity, and basically just dagger tricks all through my hands.
Up to you. You could do if you want to do a little bit of tossing and turning. We could do some acrobatics in it.
I'd say
You're gonna do
sleight
s-
of hand and acrobatics.
Yep.
One of each.
Yep, sounds good.
5. I'm gonna human determination it.
Yeah.
Wait, stop. Roll on something that isn't like
Okay.
roll.
4.
You didn't do.
Bonus plus 10, so it's 14.
Oh,
14.
wait.
So it's still
You
good.
didn't hit Mary.
And then acrobatics is so a 14 in acrobatics and a 14 in sleight of hand.
All right, you do a pretty good job. You show off your ability to sort of doing it. You toss the dagger from one hand to the other and stuff like that. You toss your dagger from one hand to the other, and then it disappears for a brief moment, and then reappears, and then throws daggers. Right, it's not bad. It's not bad. I assume you're the meat of the group.
I'm the dwarf.
And you be also some of the meat of the group too. You realise that if you're on a ship like this and you fall overboard, you're fucked.
No, he's not. And I turn him into a riding lizard in the middle of the town.
I'm just gonna reach down,
We
pat
are a
his
group
head.
of many talents.
I'm gonna reach down, pat his head, and be like, "Friend,
Reach down. I'm like 7-8 feet tall as a riding lizard. They,
up tall like this."
It goes quiet.
The skip of the
In that case,
string
I'll
and-
pat your leg.
I'm
not
looking
here,
at
Rowan.
the bartender at the moment to see his reaction.
Mary!
Do not worry, it is not a rat.
Animal control!
Rowan, you might want to change back.
Mary like looks over at you guys. Starts bringing out a net.
What was a net doing in there?
I was wondering the same
It's
thing.
a butterfly catching you in your spare time.
No, I mean a woman called a net.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I turn back into an elf.
I don't have a riding lizard in my menagerie. I have a
Please,
parrot.
sir. We are a group of many talents.
What about a sparrow?
Too soon.
I turn back into an elf. It's fine. I just shrink back down.
Got this bag of dust of a tiefling. What?
Oh, that's very nice. We had one
You turn back into a human.
Elf.
Everyone kind of like goes back into an elf. Everyone starts going back to doing what they were doing.
They are, well, my companions are quite entertaining. They have recently been fighting in the arenas of Gdansk. You may have heard the great battle against the Pyrohydra.
Nah, I haven't heard of such a thing. I've only been in this particular place for about a week now.
Suffice to say that it is one of the Best
it is
combat
the
they have had
fact that
in
it's-
many years, and that was done by.
Look, I'm willing to believe you. Look like you're a talented group. You look like you've got some skills in your mists. As I said, it's going to take a long time to do provision, so we're looking at about 30 gold pieces ahead.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, tomorrow morning, rock up. I would like a down payment of the whole 30 gold pieces now, if that's possible.
That's fine.
And if you don't turn up tomorrow, well, bad luck.
What time?
Dawn. First thing in the morning. As soon as the sun starts rising up, we'll be getting prepared to get the hell out of here.
I cast Druidcraft to see the weather forecast for the morning. I go,
It's starting to...
basket of flowers you can cast it on.
Yeah. Because it's starting to come into summer, a lot of the weather in this particular part of the world is pretty good.
okay.
It's nice sun and sunny days. It looks like the wind is starting to pick up in this particular part of the world, which probably makes sense why they're leaving. Heading in a southwesterly direction.
Which is good.
Which means the is basically going to get out of the Bay of Tutogok relatively quickly.
There is another question that I have. The gentleman I was speaking to before, that is the captain. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it certainly is, yeah.
Does he have a preferred type of drink?
Oh, he likes to think himself a bit of a pirate every once in a while, even though he's just an old captain from the guard. He likes his rum.
Very good.
I also have a question. What is his name?
Jonas, Captain Jonas.
We'll
Have
a
you heard
whale
about
time.
the whale? This is Captain Jones.
Call me Ishmael.
Oh, that's the name of the ship.
Isn't that what your mum said when you were born? It's mine.
Do we have party funds, or are we going to pay separately?
That was up to you guys from the arena funds. I think we did.
Yeah,
We
we've still,
we
we've
have
still got about
divided
2,000
it
sitting in
up
party
at
funds, don't we?
No.
It
You
was
haven't
like
done that
rounding
much.
off, so it was like 400 or
Was that
No, we
400?
had
Yeah.
500 left after
500?
dividing it up to everyone.
something. Okay, yeah.
Do we want to use that for
Yeah, just
passage instead
Party
of...
funds it.
Yeah? So who's got the party funds?
I've got it.
Ashley.
Okay.
So mark off 210 and we'll... I also do want to make sure that I get a couple of bottles of nice rum so I can schmooze with the captain on the journey.
Yep.
Schmooze.
Schmooze.
Would there be an alchemy shop open at this hour?
Nope.
Just knock on the door and go, the last alchemy shop that didn't sell me stuff burnt down.
I mean, like, you're not wrong.
You'll probably have the tiniest bit of time in the morning just to sort of quickly deal with the people you need to deal with before the ship will leave. Okay, so it's not like leave and you can't do all the stuff you want to do. You've got a tiny bit of time. So if you want to talk to your blacksmith people about the armour, and if you want to talk to alchemist people and whatnot, as long as you don't go off on some weird tangents and disappear, you're all good.
She basically wants to buy like a month's worth of alchemy. Like, gold or whatever.
Yeah, cool. You could do that.
Try to don't take as much space.
And I'm going to say 3 gold worth of rum.
Yep, that's good.
So,
I'm gonna say I spent 100 gold on supplies.
And you let me know how much my present cost.
You what, sorry?
The present. Because I bought all the supplies before leaving.
What am I reading?
Gold, please. You managed to scavenge a good portion of it beforehand.
And I'm going to say 4 gold worth of everything.
4 gold worth of perfume? Yep, that's fine.
Gold if it's valid.
I don't mind a little bit of retroactive shopping before we go from this one. I probably should have given you a day.
It's an old night market.
It's an all-night market. Yeah, so that's actually not a bad idea. Probably isn't. It's nothing stopping you from. Sorry?
It's a busy town though.
It is a busy town, that's right, yeah.
We could just say we did those things early in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Shipped everything back. What are you talking about?
Riley, we should check in with some acquaintances before we leave.
For you, you could put money towards them building the plate mail without too much of an issue, but without your help, it's really going to cost the same as buying a brand new suit.
Yeah, that's why I'm just going to
Yeah.
Because I'd also end up having to come back here again anyway.
Yeah, exactly
And we
right.
want to be back here for months.
We'll probably be finished by then.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keep building it as I go.
Okay, cool. So you can just actually try and build it yourself, but you're not going to have really any smithing stuff you can use on a ship.
No, but
In the next town.
yeah, I'll work on the plates while I'm in town, and then
Yep.
work on the intricacies of like strapping and stuff while I'm not.
Oh yeah, no, okay, we can do that. We can do that. That's good. All right, so you're going to go to the blacksmith and get
just
what they
buy supplies.
whatever they've done and
Yeah.
supplies.
So like plates and leather straps.
Could you
and
use
stuff.
put a helmet on the dwarf and use her as an end?
It's a possibility. They're
mean,
pretty
like-
sturdy.
Look, my constitution's pretty high.
I'll buy a.
The problem's heating the metal at that point. On a
Secret Dragonborn who can breathe flame.
Yeah, on a wooden ship.
Yeah, you can find some Tigris tools.
Went to Bangkok's. Oh, never mind. I actually apparently bought something like
Yeah, I think you know. I do. I remember we went through that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I was like,
Ooh. Oh, you have Tinker's tools?
I know what to do.
What are you?
I will buy bait.
bait.
I've got things to attract land animals, but we're going to be on a boat, so I'll buy things to attract the animals.
Is the boat
You know what will attract
Like
sea
worms.
animals? Land animals.
Can I say that?
Especially ruddy lizards. But
You know,
We're gonna have to get you a sunning rock.
We can get.
But you like one.
But there's a nice patch of the deck which is kept warm in the sun.
I was gonna say we could give him a sunning raft and trail it behind the ship.
all right. Is there anything else you want to do in the tavern while your evening is passing on, other than
Is
to?
there
Drink.
anywhere I can purchase gunpowder?
Yeah. Not much, but yeah.
I want-
I've got another
say-
plan for if you want to, if purchasing it fails.
Make it.
No.
Fortified vials,
Gamble with
lands?
some highwaymen.
Probably one vial, which is a few grams. It's like
There's a
vial
few
that
of us in
big.
the bar
It's a
apparently, so
bit,
there's going to
yeah.
be gunpowder there.
How much would it sort of
Actually, let's say one horn.
a horn of gunpowder?
Ah, like, just
Yep.
for like chunks.
Can I purchase that?
Sure. It'll cost you 5 gold.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are we doing the guns count as
Crossbows, essentially.
crossbows?
Yes.
Cool.
I may change that later. I don't know.
Can I buy a pistol?
Sure.
And I assume you'd want to buy more gunpowder too.
Well, ammunition, whatever because it's not going to be used for explosives. It's just going to be used for bullets.
Yeah, no, I've got like 900 ball
One
bearings.
of the books goes.
So,
Yeah. Or the,
flintlock ball bearings would work perfectly.
so how much is a pistol?
150 gold.
150.
Hey.
Yeah, actually, can I get a
Because
pistol
they're hard
too?
to make.
And can I get more gunpowder than just one?
We know.
Oh, you could, if you're willing to pay a bit more for it, because you've got more gunpowder, but not a lot of.
Willing to pay a bit.
Right, he'll say 2 gold pieces each for the rest of the horns that he's got, which is another 2 that he's got.
Yeah, okay, so I'll pay.
So 5 gold pieces overall for the horn, plus 150 for the pistol.
So 200 gold.
Yep, 200 gold will be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He gives you a bit of a special pistol with a few extra cool-looking bits and pieces on it.
Oh, you've been like this.
Yes. And a scimitar.
Ah, scimitar's easy. Whatever the cost of a scimitar is.
25, I think.
I got a spell.
25 gold pieces.
And for the pistol that are falling under crossbow rules.
No, they're in a different set of rules, so they're more expensive.
No, but we're not using those.
So
We don't. There's no different set of rules in the player's handbook for it.
Okay.
No, it's in the Dungeons Master's Guide. Nothing. Back at the Dungeons Master's Guide, there's a rule set for pistols.
You have all gunpowder weapons.
My Dungeon Master's Guide disappeared amongst the various many things of
So,
my
would you
book.
consider this a heavy crossbow?
No. The pistol itself would be if we're going to do it the way we're going to do it before, it's basically still just a hand crossbow.
So light crossbow.
6 piercing damage, range 30 to 20, light, and it has
Okay.
I may look at that later and review it because it is out there and they're very replacement of arrows and stuff like that these days, and because it's D&D more than it is.
So it's 1d6.
Yeah, you can't make arrows. You have to buy it from the Gnomish company IDB.
Yeah. So I may upgrade all of the pistols, all of the guns, a damage dice, but increase their ability to actually backfire. Sorry? Whatever it costs in the book.
See, the thing is I don't intend to use it as a weapon.
While I'm at the blacksmith, do I notice if he has any, like, silver swords? Long swords?
Silver longsword.
Mix gunpowder with an acid vial, right?
He's got one that's
Into the
kind of like
pistol
halfway
with a ball
built.
bearing in it. Rig it to a tripwire.
So he's like put like a coat of silver on it. Like he's put several coats on it. So it's not going to be ready in time as well as it could be.
I'll leave it to get to Paris.
Yeah, but it's gonna be
For
nasty.
something,
For something
it's
that
going to
blows
take a while
up
to
in
get mine
my
coated
face.
as well.
It's gotta be a decent trap.
Okay. All aboard?
Is there any other purchases or any other last bits and pieces that people want to do? You want to do alchemy stuff? You want to get alchemy supplies?
I already got alchemist supplies.
You got some? You spent like 100 gold?
I just spent 100 gold on like herbs and
Yeah, you spend 100 gold.
things that I could make things with.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
an
spend-
arbitrary. You've spent X amount of gold on arbitrary stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Buy some materials for improvement.
Like
Yeah.
alchemist materials.
Yeah, you can buy a fair amount. They seem to have a fair amount.
Scraps and stuff like
Yeah, bits and pieces like gear scraps, springs, coils, yeah, all that type of jazz.
Cogs.
I also go buy some herbs and stuff to work on healing potions.
Yep, you do the same thing. 100 actually. There's probably about 25 gold pieces left. He's bought the other 100.
I'll take the last 25 pieces worth.
I mean, you could just like barter some for me. Off me.
I'll
Buy some.
I don't-
Well,
I don't
there's
need
also
too
a good
much.
chance
I
that
only want a couple of
if we're
pieces.
using them as a group, they're probably going to end up being used on you.
Oh yeah.
Considering I'm the one that keeps taking damage, yes.
It's
I
alright,
seem
I
to
can
like-
heal though.
Is there
Die at the last second.
I have a healing potion, and I recall saying that it looked super nasty because I made it.
You're gonna be
So it's all like
protected.
sludgy and disgusting.
I actually have 3 healing potions on me.
I've got one left over from the arena fight.
I found 3 at the
I
last
assume you've got a
second.
bit straight then.
And
Oh, okay, so it's 250 gold for the pistol. If I go by this.
Oh, okay, so I'll lose another 50 gold. That's cool.
Was it 1d10 for the...
Can I-
1d10, yeah.
can I
So
rate-
are we using that or are we using the crossbow?
Oh no, yeah, no, fuck, we'll use it.
Okay.
well, 1d10 actually.
It is considered a martial ranged weapon though.
So,
we need the
You need the martial feat.
Not simple.
Otherwise you fire at disadvantage.
Good training martial weapons.
No, you don't fire at disadvantage, but you can't add your proficiency bonus.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, yeah, there you go.
You just have your
Your normal
bonus.
dex bonus.
so it's plus, it's 4 attack instead of 7.
Correct.
You wrote a thing in martial weapons.
No,
No, they have specific weapons.
no.
simple weapons plus
Simple
XYZ
weapons plus rapier and one other.
and crossbow.
No, I'm happy to use these particular.
Stats.
10 bullets is essentially 3 gold pieces. That includes all the other bits and
Well,
pieces that come with it.
900 ball bearings.
The page with...
Nah, bullets are
want to play
different.
it
They're different, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be really close. The page before has, I think for a bomb, it's 3d6. And you're going to have to make your dex.
So the pistol did D10, did you say?
D10, yes.
Bomb.
Yeah, bombs.
3d6.
3d6 is dynamite.
30, 90, and then loading.
It's something about like if you have a barrel of gunpowder, you like that.
It's like the idea of using black powder pistol for sneak attack. Could draw
First
human
round
face.
is sick.
Yell bang as we do so.
Bang, 3 points.
Good times.
Now I'll have a buckler in one hand and
Yeah, that's how we do it. Either that or we hide someone behind someone with a shield. It
No,
works.
no, you're doing it wrong. Anyone is a shield.
Yeah, we should probably drop your name, Scourge of Arrows, considering we're coming.
no, it's fine.
Keep it.
You'll offend
And probably
the Scourge
not
Muscle
want
as
to
he
do that with
receives.
the guy who's from Paris.
Yeah.
You'd probably.
So we don't tell him his name.
Yeah.
Everyone else is fine. You think of
Well,
your name.
considering we're going to the
No, he's
land
gonna
of
come
the
up with
Scourge of Musalon,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be mistaken as one of them.
Okay.
What was that?
That's my co-worker calling me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
Just like came in and watching the stream.
Good job, buddy.
Oh, so how much?
Stab that guy in the face.
Sorry?
How much are bullets?
3 gold pieces for 10.
Okay, I'll buy 20.
Okay. All aboard.
Anything else? Are you done all your purchases now?
I didn't need much.
That's cool.
How much is it going to cost for the plates and the leather straps and stuff that I'm
You
buying?
put as much money down as you want to put down. Remember, it's up to 750 gold of materials. So you just put down X amount of gold for materials.
I'm going to put down 200 for now. That would plus that onto what I've already paid.
Yep.
Which is what I
You paid like 25 or something like that, haven't you? Yeah. Wasn't
paid.
being that much.
So, we all get out of bed like an hour before dawn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already awake because I only
You
4
and I
hours. Yeah.
There is
Who wakes up
parts.
the dwarf?
There are parts of you that are not relishing the fact you have to get up this early because, as adventurers, you can get up whenever you feel like. But at the same time,
Adventurers, the fantasy version of unemployed.
yes,
I am
Murder hobos.
murder hobos.
I am doing yoga on the roof.
Although uni students probably drink more than adventurers.
I don't know.
Dwarven.
My character drinks like literally 24/7.
Have you met engineering students?
Have
Okay.
you met marketing students? Have you met art students?
Have you met students?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Even high schoolers drink. Anyway.
And you all walk down to the docks. Not that it's very far from where you are, considering. And you see a really large ship where you've been told to go. To three master. It's not a war galleon or a warship of any particular type. In fact, it's very much wide and flat. It's a merchant ship, yeah. However, it does have cannons. Not many. It's got like 4 on each side. Considering some of the other warships and other merchant ships. And they're still loading up the odd bit and pieces here and there. There's another group of people who are hopping on the ship as well before you guys get there, so they're just like already going across the planks and onto the ship themselves. There's the first mate there, and the captain is sitting on the deck itself, up near the navigator. You can hear his voice from the "Ah, tally-ho! Well done! Welcome aboard, everyone!" As they're hopping on. And then there's like the first mates are all like going, "Alright, you lot. It's good to see you all rocked up in time. Got your money's worth? Got everything you need?
Yeah.
Alright, well, hop on."
Actually, there's one thing I would like to have retroactively bought.
Hmm?
Coffee. Good Arabic coffee.
Good Arabic coffee.
Yeah,
Alright.
thank you. Good choice.
Oh no, I'm going to have a thing with the captain now. He's going to try and convert me to tea. I'm going to try and convert him to coffee. So one morning he makes me tea, the next morning I make him coffee.
Alright, so
One
before
morning
we...
he makes you tea, and the next day the tea's overboard.
Alright, lads. Before we get on one day of this, I'm going to describe exactly what's going to happen here, alright? We have to head out of Tutorgoth Bay. Currently, there are ships of Ravenna sitting in the bay. Not quite sure what they're doing at this present moment in time. Generally, they leave us alone. But if they do happen to want to inspect our ship, because, you know, at sea, no one gives a shit, and they do what the fuck they like, keep it cool. Don't get in any trouble. Don't cause us any problems, alright?
Just don't kill them all.
Not unless they really decide they want to kill us. Then you kill them all.
Oh, we're sinking the ship before we even get out of the bay.
I have one question. Ravenna ships, how flammable are they?
Like all ships, they're flammable.
Like I said, we're sinking the ship before we get out of the bay.
So, I'm gonna pull Scourge Varus aside.
Secondly, if we are brought up by a Ravnica ship, there may be a case of us needing to deliver something for them, so we may have to do a drop-off in the lands of Ravenna, in the night deserts. If not, we'll be making port in Borgis, which is southern Middlemark.
if there is the thing from Ravenna, what would it take not to go to night?
Sometimes we just can't avoid it, alright? Because just can't. We're not planning to go to Ravenna. Borges is actually a port of call at the present moment in time to pick up more supplies. Once we've hit once we've hit Borges, we'll be heading north and heading up the Middle Sea south, of which then we'll have to transfer some Imperial ships in that particular area. They like to patrol this particular part of the world, or anyone else amongst their alliance that they've got going. We will probably do a quick stop in either Baelatar before we head off to Linus.
If there is problems with the ships, perhaps if you yell the words tally ho very loudly, we will all attack. Does that sound good?
That's not a very good fucking thing. He says that all the time.
That's what I was planning.
I'm not going to get you to fucking attack every ship that comes by just because it goes, oh, tally ho! Like a moron that he is.
Then what would be a good word for signifying the attack?
Attack the fuckers.
Some people lack subtlety.
We're in a fucking ship in the middle of nowhere. If they're attacking us, we got no choice in the matter. We're not like in a silly little street in the town where you can hide amongst the shadows in the corners. No. We stick out like a sore thumb in the middle of an ocean where there's actually nothing to hide behind.
Poor rogue. Can't hide anywhere, can you?
Any other questions before we head off?
Got an out of character question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you sneak attack with a cannon?
No.
Oh.
What if I got advantage on the attack roll?
No.
Okay.
You need a finesse weapon, and they're not finesse weapons.
No, finesse or range.
No.
She gave it
Maybe one of the little swivel guns?
I was going to wait until we got close, cast True Strike on a target, and then fire the cannon. I'm not proficient with it, but I got advantage, so...
Like I said, maybe one of the swivel guns.
Why does it remind me of a particular Stargate game I used to run where Adam decided to use
Harpoon the
fucking
big
big monkey guy and roll the natural 20.
No, that's where I had my gamer ranger. Computer gamer. So, are we ready to board the ship?
I think we are.
Yes. How many rooms were they able to...
Two.
Two.
I call dibs on that big bucket on the top.
The big bucket on
The
the
big
top.
bucket on the top of the ship.
Crow's nest.
Okay.
No.
If you roll over, you'll roll over.
We've got our
got
own
high
bloody person
sides.
up there looking on that crow's nest.
Oh.
We don't need some stranger who's not part of the crew taking up space up there.
It's alright, friend. We'll find you another place to sleep.
Oh, just dive into the nest.
I just make sure I'm not in the same room as the door.
I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna veto the dwarf, not sleep in the room.
How many bunks are in the rooms?
Nolan, stay
Sorry?
you are my
4 bunks.
bodyguard for this trip.
Yeah, 2 bunks 2, yeah.
Being the normal that I am.
Well, considering
4
that
beds,
I
2
would be
bunks, 2,
joining
yeah.
you guys.
I'd better to hammock on the gun.
One of the rooms is occupied by another patron as well.
Is this boat transporting livestock?
No,
Oh.
too long of a distance.
Just you.
Just
It's transporting dead stock.
So wait, there's 3 available beds then,
In one of the rooms, yes.
and the other room
It's 4.
is full.
Oh,
So there's actually enough beds for everyone.
Yes, there is enough beds for everyone.
Oh, cool.
Aye.
Ignored your stupid comments.
Part of the plan was going to be if the sailors get pissed off, I was going to offer them to give their rooms up to these guys. The ones who are gonna be
When we say rooms, it's basically a small section of the bottom part of the ship. There's no real doors. There'll be curtains at the most if you're lucky, and they're kind of hammocks.
That's not fun.
No, this is
gonna
sailing
cheat
isn't
right
like 3-star restaurant and hotel type sailing. No,
Okay.
it smells down here. It smells of fish, the sea, and seaweed.
Actually, no, I probably don't like the smell
Press
of
the
fish.
digitation.
Smells like sugar and candy for about 10 minutes.
It smells like cinnamon and opium. I mean, foreign spices.
You can assume that I never actually use the bed that they gave me. I just do my 4-hour trance cross-legged on like the front of the ship.
That's fine. They still get you. They still gave you a bed.
Yeah. Well, we can use that to actually like sit down and talk and
Yeah.
Why? We have a walking table. Why don't we just sit on a bunk bed? We just, sit around the table.
The first mate goes up to the top deck, where the navigator is, as well as the captain. You see that there's crew members all across the place. They start pulling down, sorry, not pulling up sails. They start unlashing the ship from the thing and push off, more off.
what was the situation with our donkeys?
That's a good point. You've got to leave those behind.
So we
Sell them.
Yeah, you sell them.
whatever reason.
Oh, that was so nice.
What would we have sold them for? How much?
Always half price.
So for 4 gold. 4 gold each. They're
And
8
the
gold.
cart was like 15 or something.
So 7.
Don't worry about it now. Just put down. You got to sell them.
The girl was trying to get pregnant. The girl mule. She was trying to get pregnant. It was really sweet.
Yeah, it was really sweet. She was trying to get pregnant. It was cute.
Mules are infertile.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh.
But these were donkeys.
So someone should go and tell her.
Well,
I don't want to give them donkey bad news or the mule bad news about
you're
that.
never going to get pregnant if you fuck the So moving on.
Swiftly on.
Wow.
I didn't know whether that should be said. But
Wow.
Look, there's a mature rating on the stream for a reason, I suppose.
Anyway.
This content features
That
adults.
reason is
using
18 plus.
So
this content features adults using adult language. You have been warned.
we're using mummy and daddy words.
Literally, yes. I don't know any mummies
So-
and daddies who don't say fuck.
Alright. So before we actually set off on the ship, we're going to have a break.
Okay.
We'll be back in probably 15-20 minutes.
Sounds good.
So the pirate says to the prostitute, "My ship will go down, but I won't." Oh, shit, we're on. Okay.
So, about that adult content warning, yes?
I said it was nautical themed.
Yo ho ho. There we go.
Shoot that one.
It is fun, isn't it? You're
Oh, yeah.
The ship breaks away from the deck. From the dock, sorry.
Dock deck.
From the dock deck.
Deck of the dock. Okay.
The ship breaks away from the docks. The captain goes, "Ha! Full sail, sir!" And then all of the crew basically start pulling on ropes and pulling on rigging, and the sails, all three of them, come down. The first mate goes, "Captain, you can't do that." I'm doing the wrong accent. "Captain, you can't do that. Not in the docks. We're going to crash into another ship." "Nonsense, sir. Do you see the other ships in this particular area?" "Well, there's a ship over there, and there's a ship over there. If you're not careful, you're going to fucking knock into them." "Don't be silly. Full sail, sirs!" All sails come down. The ship lurches really fast as it catches the wind coming from the docks. And then pulls off at a speed you were not quite expecting. And then very quickly picks up speed as it starts rushing outside into the bay. The captain's sitting there, wind going through his hair. Big smile on his face. He's just happy to be here. Not really paying attention. The navigators are like looking and goes, "Sir, we seem to be approaching on another ship." "Well then, don't hit them." You guys are looking. You're on the deck somewhere, and you're looking. And the ship, there's a ship that's been out in the bay for a little bit longer than you guys have. So it's ahead of you, but it's going at an angle that's hitting roughly that should intercept with you. And it looks like as it approaches more and more, that your ship is basically just going to ram right into the side of the other ship.
Oh boy.
"Captain, I don't think we're going to fucking get out of this particular one." "Nonsense! I have full faith that my navigator knows what he is doing." Navigator goes, "Oh, all right, in that case then." You feel the ship lurch to the right, ever so slightly, but enough for you to basically just go across the deck. Everyone make a acrobatics.
I'm enjoying the hell out of this. I'm drinking like, yeah!
I'd start it, sure.
Yeah.
I can't roll on this.
2.
Oh wait, hang on, athletics here.
Natural 20.
7.
That's the floor.
Nice.
Oh, that's the floor.
17.
Cool, roll it again.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought.
I can't
How
say.
do I know?
13.
There it is. I cannot roll on that, so
What did you roll?
20.
Natural 20.
That's what it is.
Just because you're
19.
the center of
19.
mass.
For those who rolled below 10,
No, I just used
Can't
to
really
be.
concentrate.
they kind of weren't expecting the ship to suddenly lurch in a direction going to the starboard. And you fall over and skid across the deck a little bit. Some of the sailors laugh at you as you do that. Those who managed to score below 15, between 10 and 15, you didn't fall over, but you did feel the knock of the ship, and you had that whole Star Trek moment where you basically just moved in unison. And the rest of you is kind of like, yeah, whatever. You're kind of expecting it, you know.
So grateful.
Yeah, so graceful. But alas, suddenly those two ships are now pulled up side by side. The captain on the other ship, small figure that as it is looking directly at this particular ship. You would assume he's looking at the captain. The other captain on your ship is like,
We're all gonna die.
We are all gonna die.
Is this one actually called Zap Brannigan?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Does he suffer from sexlexia?
Does he enjoy champagne?
Champagne? Champagne.
Oh no.
I posted.
So I'm giving him ideas, guys.
Your ship, because it's going on full 3 sails, overtakes the other ship that's going at 1. And eventually you start pulling away. A lot of you guys haven't been on ships. And you find after probably the first half hour, when you're going, wow, this is really cool, we're out on the ship, you know, flying through the bay, you're seeing the landmass that you've come from disappear or shrink and shrink more and shrink more, and then it's just a landmass on the horizon. You can barely see the town at all. You see ahead of you pretty much nothing but open water. To Torgok Bay, while it is a bay, is still a very large amount of area. The sun, halfway through the day, every once in a while, clouds come through and cover up the sun, so the heat that's coming from it is partially blocked. But when it comes away from the clouds, you feel that sun coming on you, and there's nothing realistically in the deck of the ship that gets you away from the sun. And you're feeling it, because you're not doing anything.
Well, they're not doing
That's
it. I am in the form of a riding lizard, just swimming around, trying to observe as many water-based species as I can.
Are you trying to swim in the water?
Yeah.
You probably suspect that you probably couldn't keep up with the ship.
Oh. Okay.
Bye.
Okay, new plan. Wait.
We can tie you to the ship.
I've got a
Right.
bite on a lizard.
Yeah, let's keyhole it. What's it doing? 8 knots?
And then you can wakeboard behind ship. Sorry, you can be wakeboard. We.
I mean, as a lizard, I've got like a climb speed as well. So how about I just am a lizard attached to the side of the ship and just poke my head under the water with like my tongue being pulled along by the stream and just observing as much of it underwater as I can.
Captain, there's something dragging down the ship.
Just a big lizard.
I figure I've set up a.
Do a perception roll, everyone.
I figure I've set up at some point an alchemy station and a
Yeah, you probably
brewing
just set up
station, and I'm
somewhere
gonna
inside your
pick
little
up.
area. Yeah.
19.
19.
24.
12.
5. Natural 20 again.
Natural 20 again.
4.
If you manage to get 15 or better, you probably immediately notice that there's a few dolphins sort of playing with the ship at the front.
I didn't see that.
No, you didn't see that. No.
You're on the wrong side of the ship.
They weren't put there on purpose.
It's terrible.
I'm going to grab one of these cheeses.
Cool. That's like Pavlovian conditioning. Every time I have a match,
I walk up to the front of the ship and observe the swimming creatures that I've never seen before.
Every time there's a slight wave, I fucking roll around with the deck, apparently.
It was just that particular time when it lurched.
No, it seems to be every time it comes. I can't
No,
see.
no,
You can't see over the road.
Yeah, I was saying,
yeah.
And he's worried if he jumps up too high, he'll go over.
Put a
It's
little
like,
crate.
what do you see? What do you see? What do you see?
sit on my shoulders.
What is that?
You can sit on my shoulders, I don't mind. We'll make the size of a person.
We need someone to like draw that picture.
The halfling on the dwarf. The 4 foot on the 5 foot.
It's called a battle stack.
Wait. Are you 3 feet or 4 feet? You're 3 feet,
I
aren't
can't
you?
remember. I'm pretty sure I'm 3 feet.
And I'm 4 feet.
Wrote it down somewhere.
So the two of you are standing on each other. You're as tall as the dragonborn.
yeah.
No, because he's sitting on my shoulders.
So it'd only be the
Outstanding.
top of the torso added to.
So it'd still be shorter than the
So
dragon.
And it would
6
show,
foot?
like, ignore my head, ignore his feet, so we'd be about 5 feet between the two of us.
Yeah. So I'm,
Or
I'm,
6
I'm
feet,
almost 7
sorry.
feet tall.
So we put a cloak on you, yeah? And then we've got 4 arms to attack them.
Yeah.
See? Battle stack.
Still not the worst plan I've heard.
Yeah, true. It's like D&D. Not a day goes by when you have a dwarf and a halfling stand on top of each other.
3 halflings stacked on top of each other.
Other than that, at some point in time you will see the dolphins.
Can you do swim speed here?
Yeah.
It gets later on in the afternoon, and you're getting quite bored now. You probably start asking sailors how to do things on the ship after a while, just to sort of see what's going on, because nothing's happening.
Yeah, I ask anyone that looks like something's heavy, I'm like, do you need help with that? He's like, I can do that.
I'm good with vehicles.
So am I.
I go up to
I would actually, well,
I go up to Elmsman and say, might I steal your vehicle for a while?
Land vehicles or sea
It
vehicles?
says vehicles.
No, 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 you
yours
have
would
to
actually
pick one.
say land or sea.
Well,
I'm
vehicles.
proficient in
It'll be land
being
vehicles. Ships are different thing.
soldier. Oh, so I'd actually.
But you know,
strangely enough, the
if you walk
transport
up-
from the mountains would actually know
If
how
you
to
walk
sail
up
a
to the
ship.
navigator and you want to have a say, can I have a go? Roll persuasion.
Persuasion. If I persuade, it's 11. If I intimidate, it's 14.
If you do not let me steer the ship, I will spray you with perfume.
No. And then your shipmates will think you are a woman.
In disguise.
In disguise? No, they'll just think he's a woman. And they'll,
In these guys.
and then downstairs things will happen.
My turn.
Stop it!
You're encouraging him.
Make
Could I
it
please
use
have-
cheese.
Could I
What
some
don't you have
ground
to save for some hummus?
No, yeah, that one.
This one?
Yes.
How much would you like?
I mean, I'll take the whole thing if you give it to me.
And the knife.
I'm just
Eat
gonna
it
be
like a
filling
piece
my
of
navigation.
watermelon.
Literally.
Watching it heading.
Anyway, the first day on the ship
Yeah, don't
is
throw
pretty
it, I'm
uneventful.
not very good.
Otherwise, you guys it gets towards the evening.
Pass through the ravine ships.
No, not yet.
They're further out.
They're further out. Yeah, the evening passes by.
Like, yeah.
Do you guys mingle with the crew at all?
I'm gonna look for where. I'm gonna go through the warehouse, and considering we've just given him a substantial portion of gold,
Yep.
try and figure out where that will be.
It'll most likely be with the captain.
We're only a day in.
So
rob the match!
I'm gonna.
Wait, on the upside, if we kill everyone on the boat, we get a free ship.
And do we know how to get where we want to go?
No.
I can navigate.
We've got a navigator
If he can
and the
navigate, I
sailor.
can steer.
Okay. Backup plan number 2.
What's backup plan number 1?
Fireball.
That's the backup plan written in pen instead of pencil.
Backup
So
plan
I
number
want to
3.
set up my supply stations, but I'm not going to be doing it to make just one or the other. I'm going to take this time to actually get into doing like the alchemical alcohol.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and make like alcoholic healing potions and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you're going to have to do constitution rolls when you know,
Healing.
heal, but hey.
Okay, so you're making healing potions at the present moment in time. It's going to take you a bit of time.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on, but they're all alcoholic and highly alcoholic.
I'm gonna.
This
Well,
is
So it's
my
like
goal.
drinking ethanol.
Yeah.
Healing potion.
Ethanol
Oh,
healing
wow.
potions.
Yeah, pretty much. But you guys don't know that unless you
Moonshine
are.
healing potions.
Could I convince you to make me some acid rounds for the pistol?
I don't know, can you convince me to make some acid rounds from this?
Well, I approach you and say, could you make me some acid rounds for this pistol?
Where's the guile?
His rhythm is shit.
I'm just gonna be
It's
honest.
only slightly better than yours.
Okay.
Like, actually.
Well, I suppose that
I can supply ingredients. And I'll pay for any construction costs that you need with a small stipend if you want.
may I borrow some of your rounds to do
Yeah.
all the-
Just pour out all 20 rounds into your hands.
I guess I'm working on some acid rounds.
Cool. I start fiddling with my armor and start.
Yeah. It's just your general stuff that you want to do for building things as you're going by.
So my gun is technically unloaded at the moment because you've got all the ammo.
I spent the first 3 days being incredibly sick until I get my secrets.
Yeah. That was the next roll I'm going to make you all roll. It's Constitution roll.
Oh.
Constitution saves.
Boy.
I'm going to say I fail.
Okay.
Just for dramatic purposes.
So you're going to choose the fail on purpose.
It's 17. I've been on a boat, had to leave us for somehow.
Oh,
19,
I was on a
supply.
boat previously to get over here. Didn't like it there.
23.
You good?
11.
You're
I like
okay.
my Dragon Ball
It's not
Zet's
too bad
really
at this
good
present moment in
sequence.
time.
So I don't like it.
You don't like it. You feel like a little bit queasy, but it's not too bad.
10. And I can't reach the rail.
You're still okay. You're still a little bit queasy.
15.
Yep, you're fine.
We make a small trebuchet.
You're fine.
You vomit into the bucket, then you fling it over.
For me or for the bombers?
You wake up on the second day and you come out from the ship. Everyone roll a another Constitution roll. Constitution save.
Critical fail.
Oh fuck! Me too.
I wish I had a critical fail. That would have been much easier.
18 for that one.
4.
No, sorry.
24.
18.
18.
Also 18.
Also 18. 4.
Apparently
Alright,
sleeping
so
and then
you
waking up,
three-
I don't like.
You three. You're not used to these particular type of sleeping quarters. You're basically on hammocks, which is not flat. They're constantly swinging during the evening when you're trying to sleep.
Safe to say, I'll be sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. So you're either sleeping on a hard floor and whatnot. So those who failed have a level of fatigue. You didn't sleep very well on your first night.
What's fatigue do?
You get disadvantage on ability checks at this stage.
This is going to be very interesting.
Just assume
So
that
you're always rocking that ones on your
unless
bottom,
something pressing is going on, I'm hanging on to the edge
Actually-
of the ship, just poking my face into the water, trying
Hang on.
to see.
I've already had a sleep.
You're really high up. You
With-
can't really. You're in a. You're not on a
You didn't
flatbed
sleep
ship.
well.
Sorry,
Oh.
we've
You were
already
too
had one
sick
night's
to-
sleep.
Yes,
Does that mean I can take a human determination on that?
if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I will. 16 plus 2, so 18.
A couple of hours into your sleep, you realise that this is not the best place to sit there. So you rearrange your pillow, rearrange your bedding and stuff like that, and manage to get yourself to sort of not swing as much.
Some
Both
good.
places. So you're good, yeah.
Nice. Worth it.
I just sleep like a rock. I'm just like.
No, that's me.
You basically just burrow in the snow in the mountains, don't you? The internal heat of dragons is enough.
That's why we don't mind living in the mountains. Like,
We
we
didn't get him a
always
son
need
in
to
law.
be
That's
just
the
like,
Keeps everyone else away.
yeah.
I came from
Again, several hours pass by. If you are below deck, doing your things,
I'm sitting on the deck.
you're sitting on the deck.
I'm literally
Yeah,
sitting on the deck
because
in
of
the
what you're
sun,
doing. Yeah, that's fine. You'd probably be below deck. if you're doing it.
oh yeah. I don't want anyone touching my shit.
I'm
Okay,
not
if you're below deck, don't make this perception roll. So make a perception roll.
I'm sort of up and down.
I have my head.
If you're up and down, that's fine. That's no
I'll
problem.
be
take
up because if it explodes, I don't want to.
Oh, so you're on top of deck to throw it overboard, basically.
Pretty much.
16.
16,
23.
12,
10.
Nice.
10. Alright, if you manage to get above 15, what you notice on the port side, which is the left side, a few small islands on the horizon.
Are they the islands that I was told about?
With the flowers on?
I just immediately
I told you
yelled,
about them. You
Land ho!
with the healing mushrooms. You remember?
The first mate looks at you, goes, "I know, mate. It's alright. You're not a sailor. Can you just shut the fuck up?"
Alright, mate.
Touch.
Mr. DM,
I'm gonna
do you know
kill
what
him.
scuffles is?
Sorry,
You should
No,
apologise
suddenly-
by
Guys,
inviting him to
guys.
a dice game.
Clean him out.
Do you know what the scuppers are?
scuppers.
You invite him to dice
They
games. You're
cameras on the side of
charismatic,
the ship
and I'll
that
just
let
clean him
water
out.
that comes-
Ah, okay.
I have my face in one of those.
Just throwing up. Oh no.
It lets stuff out, yeah?
Right
I
down
can't
the
see
center
much.
of the ship.
No!
Like right down the outside.
Yeah,
of the
down
ship.
the outside.
Do we want to convince him for a short stopover?
Yes, please.
No.
Go on.
You should tell me what.
You know how much that would cost?
To stop?
Yes.
Why?
About
It takes
15
them an
feet
extra
rope.
day to get to their location. They will charge us as well.
Who says it takes them that long?
Well, ask him.
They stop. I turn into a riding lizard. I swim to the island with her on my back. We pick some mushrooms and I swim back. Easy done.
Yeah, if there's nothing on the island other than mushrooms.
Sure, it's fine.
Yeah, but
Oh, I don't
that's
like this.
always worked when you said
We
that.
have enough ingredients.
Yes,
We do not
the
need
dwarf
more.
is
It's
choosing
fine.
mushrooms. This is a good idea.
None of you know how bad my survival is. None of you know.
I have
As
a
far as you
feeling.
know,
I have a
I'll
feeling
pick the
that your way of
mushrooms.
testing which mushrooms are good would be by simply consuming as many as possible.
Yeah, but then there's nothing wrong with them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Like mostly immune or resistant to poison.
Yeah, so everyone else is dead.
Yeah, pretty much. There's nothing wrong with this mushroom soup. Yeah.
Come on,
Belly
guys.
of iron.
Right, do you want to try and convince the captain to stop him?
Well, if no one else is going to, I guess I will.
Alright, go
Oh,
for it.
Lord.
I watch him walking towards the captain. I'm just like, and I go back to doing my
I'd
armor.
be so proud of you if I could see you right now.
I will object.
Don't be
I
like
just realised we
this.
don't have half the lights on.
Oh no, we don't either, do we?
Oh.
It's actually alright. It's actually, the lighting's actually alright.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, you didn't want-
Well, I have a minus 2 to charisma.
Extend the thing so.
I do.
Next bit.
So, I have a minus 2 to charisma.
Oh, Jesus.
So you're going to walk up to the captain. Up
This will
on
not be
top.
stopping me.
The captain's still standing there, somehow in his pose still.
Okay. I've been.
He's been there for a week.
Yes,
Okay. I've been. I observe him and just think, oh, peacock.
Yes.
Okay. So I will stand directly next to him
And give him something blue.
Step in exactly the same direction he's standing. Pose next to him as well, and there's just like my long hair blowing in the breeze as well. And I say, "Am I doing it right?"
He looks at you, looks up and down. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh, thank you.
Just as a quick aside, we mentioned about Peacock. There was a warband who remained nameless on the field when I was going around taking photos, and I went near them, and one of them went, "Hey, Peacock," and all of them went.
I think I know which one then.
So I'll say,
You've got to do a bit more of the upper lip. So like, yes, yes. And make sure the chest is out. Chest is out.
I do my best to follow his instructions.
Do it. Roll a perform.
Oh my god. 13.
No, you do a pretty good job. He's like, oh, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Let me see if I can remember who you are. Rowan, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
Yes. So, how can I help you, Rowan?
Well, we'd like some mushrooms. They're over there. I just point to the island. Can we stop?
No, we're kind of a bit busy on the schedule.
It won't take long.
Oh, there's not long.
Well, if it depends how close you can get this thing,
This is about as close as we can get.
and how long do I think it would take to swim there and back?
About an hour.
2.5 hours.
Roll your persuasion.
Okay. Please.
Natural one.
Oh, 14.
Is that what you penalty?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's rolling really well.
So am I, unfortunately.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, Ron. We are on a tight schedule here. And if we get accosted by ships from Ravenna or the Imperials along our travels, then we'll be later than we expect. So I don't know if I can afford to take another day out of this travel.
What if I can make up the time?
How can you possibly make up the time?
Tomorrow, I will meditate on the spells I have available. I can cast Gust of Wind.
Ooh, that's pretty good. All right, do another one with advantage.
Okay. Imagine that just me. I think I'm just winning these sales.
He doesn't know.
You forget that, like, opposite and equal
Oh, no.
reaction, the fact
That's
that you're
7.
standing on the deck is so like,
They
it's
both
still
fall back.
An 8 and a 9.
8 and a 9.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that even in the opposite direction, if you're standing on the deck.
Fancy well. Fancy well.
A wizard did it.
I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure that Gust of Wind has been used before and doesn't do a very good job. It's not going to really help us out, I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay. I just like I walk away equal parts defeated and also maintaining the pose he told me.
So just like,
I'm inspired, I'm impressed.
Okay.
Make sure the lips too.
Okay, that's right.
Jolly good show, sir. I'm impressed. I like you very much. Later on tonight, come by my cabin and we'll have a game of cards, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe a sniffer of rum.
No. I'm still alcohol from last night.
We'll figure something out, sir.
Okay.
I may have turned him off alcohol.
I'm just gonna check.
Maybe.
To see if I can recall the spell I was thinking of, just in case for later.
Okay.
Just to prove your.
Yes, we need to outrun someone.
Anyone else going to try?
To convince the captain.
No one else has been told about the mushrooms, really.
No, I was there when they found out about it, but I'm just like, I can't be bothered. Like, I've got ingredients with me, I don't care.
How many crew are there on the ship?
It's about a dozen.
And how many are other people who are not crew?
There's another 3.
Other passengers.
Yes.
Can I walk around doing perception checks on everyone, basically?
You don't have to do perception checks per
Okay,
se.
I'm just basically,
Having a look at who they are.
yeah, trying to figure them out.
The sailors are sailors. They're a pretty standard group of people. They have their pants that are always rolled up and they're usually barefoot. They're used to it. They've done it many, many times. Some of them have wraps around their heads and stuff like that to keep the hair out of their eyes when they're doing all this. The shirts which they've got rolled up, and they're busy just doing their stuff. And if they're not actually doing anything, because
Big gold earrings in one ear.
of course they do.
So making sure that we've got our
This
cliche
is
quoted.
all about stereotypes, man.
And they only speak in swear words.
That's it.
Yep.
So they're Aussies?
And,
Yeah.
and the other 3?
And they got thongs. Yeah.
And the other
Crocs. Yeah.
Oh god,
the other
no.
3?
Don't tell the druid.
They're wearing Crocs on their feet.
Stephanie!
I feel like there's a whole game right
Yeah, there is, isn't there? The other 3 people just look like everyday travellers. They look like they're carrying a reasonable amount of their own belongings, as much as they can carry in a backpack. So like some bedding and stuff like that, rolls.
What's the overall situation on crew, captain, and those 3 on weaponry, armaments?
This is a pretty well equipped ship. As I said, it's got the 4. I said 4 cannons, so 2 on each side. Which is actually, considering this day and age, how cannons are still sort of new in a lot of fleets. So it's pretty good that they've managed to get some. So obviously they're doing all right. And the ship's quite large, and there's a lot of sacks of grains and all these other dry goods in the hold, like heaps. So obviously they've purchased up quite big, and they're travelling out to Eris, obviously to sell it. Talking to them and stuff like that, and maybe talking to the first mate and captain every once in a while, because it's a small ship. Well, it's not.
It's a big ship.
It's a big ship, but a small area. You're stuck with them, and you can't really avoid them per se.
Yep.
3 areas.
What you know is Eris, especially in that particular part of the world, because of the wars that's been going through that part of the world, food is in a little bit short supply. That's part of the reason why they're going to Eris. A lot of things being burnt down.
Wasn't us.
So they're brought in medium to relatively well armed as well.
Yes, yeah. They look like they can hold themselves in a battle if it comes to it.
So yeah, if you want to murder all of them,
It's alright, just load me into a cannon, it's fine.
I was going to get some fighting training in with the Dragonborn.
It's fine. If we have a problem, just load me in a cannon, shoot me across.
I'm actually gonna watch.
Insightfully.
Yeah, exactly. And we're gonna take turns spotting each of your weaknesses. And just pointing them out to you. So I'm actually telling you what you're doing wrong. Your stance there. Left arm. Head tilt down slightly to right. Just that sort of shit.
Dagger thrown between your feet.
Just spotting.
Your blade should not be in my chest.
Just
Yeah.
minor flaws.
We're actually fairly closely matched, I think.
I think we would be.
Close in armor class
Like,
and
You're quicker,
yeah.
but I'm able to, like, with my armor and everything, I'm able to block more, and my blows do, like, they come down harder.
Although using Dex to hit and damage, it's still
And you're basically summoning and switching weapons and changing patterns.
no, I was fighting with scimitar.
Oh, okay.
Steel scimitar.
You guys are also fighting non-lethal, which means it doesn't count.
Yeah. Just practicing.
Doesn't hurt as much.
Most of the afternoon hits somewhere almost towards dusk, and you notice that the islands that you were originally seeing have pretty much gone out of sight now.
Oh man.
I stayed down deck.
I tried so hard.
Well, you wouldn't have liked my backup plan.
What was that?
Oh no, the druid has fallen overboard. We'll have to wait here until we can rescue him.
What happens if you
What are you
fail?
talking about? You just get him to turn into something small, load him in a cannon, and shoot him.
What happens if
He'd
you
arrive
fail
there
to
really
convince
quick.
on that, though?
And warm. And really warm.
Really warm.
No more druids.
Hey, no, it means that, like, halfway through his trajectory, he turned back into an elf, and then just...
And take 25d6 of fall damage, you know, just casually.
Just casually.
I know if he changed into another animal before he landed.
He could turn into a bird before he landed.
I turned to a dolphin and just like swan dive to the landing screen.
We fire him out with the cannon as Wombat, because he's like a cannibal thing anyway.
I've never seen a wombat before.
It's a stumpy little muscly thing.
Just go a really small bear.
It's like a horizontal dwarf. That runs the marketplace.
Oh,
Moving on.
It passes into the evening. You talk amongst and talk to the sailors and the captain and all that type of stuff over dinner and stuff. And the night passes by, and eventually again.
Get the bottle of rum.
Yep.
And try and get on the captain's good side. Ask him about Tales of Aris and what it's like.
And I'm there too because he invited me.
That's right. That's right. Yes, we did the invite.
Aris.
I've heard something interesting about that, but no, I didn't roll well enough to know anything about the Scourge of Aris. Aris! Yes, such a lovely
I
place.
think we've established that there actually was a proper Scourge of Aris. Is that what we're going with? Or?
No, he rolled badly. He has no idea who the Scourge of Aris is.
I like the idea that there actually is
Yes.
someone called that. I'm pissed off that someone else is stealing their thunder.
We'll get into that later.
Let me know if there's any rolls I need to make for my concoction.
We'll figure that out later. It still takes time.
Yeah,
It's
of
just a
course.
time and money thing as well,
I-
realistically. Alright. Yes, Aris. Such a lovely place. He goes on, because I can't make up any stories at the present moment in time.
Is it true that they have sentient potatoes?
Spoilers?
Yeah, not anymore. The sentient potatoes. No, there have not been sentient potatoes witnessed in this particular land for 20 odd years. Sweet potato in the land. Anyway, he goes on a few stories. He's quite boring, realistically. But he tells them with such a flair. And then there was a particular time when blah, and then when we went the ship sailed on and into the sunset as we got away with the loot at the last particular moment of time, and all that type of stories that sort of like don't sound quite real.
And how much it was me.
All of it, like their first mates are like, oh fuck them again. Like I've heard these fucking stories.
These guys have heard Amber stories, so like everything pales in comparison, of course.
I slide the first mate a good berry. It's a bit dirty.
Whereas the Amber stories normally require a con save. Just to stay awake. It's an endurance.
And follow along.
The next day it pops in. Day 3.
I change my spells.
Alright, change spells.
I don't.
I want to be a bit more prepared. So I'm going to change Spike Growth for Gust of Wind.
Actually, Rayleigh,
Yeah?
challenge you to a contest. 2 silver for whoever can climb to the top of the crow's nest first.
There's a trick to this one, isn't there?
I'm bored.
I will take you on that.
Me too!
Hey, you don't need to climb. You fucker. Shut up.
Alright.
Fine, but it's best 2 out of 3.
As long as I do all my runs within a minute, I'm good.
No wings.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, not yet, Drew. He's just going to transform into a climbing lizard.
No wings, no animals. Fine, it's good.
Okay, fine.
Alright, so
I'm gonna try
I'm
one.
going to wrap up my ropes and climbing pittons and get ready for it.
I'm going to limber
So
up.
who's putting in?
All of us.
How much are you putting in?
I'm betting 2 silver on the road.
He said 2. I'll put in 2.
No.
I would have some fun.
I'm just watching on with interest at the moment.
Have you got climbing pittons?
No.
Does that mean I've got advantage on this?
No, the pins are not going to help you in this particular situation.
Can I
There's probably
can
ropes there on the mast anyway.
I
okay.
roughly
At the side.
hook up a grappling hook with my crossbow?
No.
I've got tinkers tools
Accurate
and,
15
and
shooting on the
equipment to
road.
make it
You,
trade.
you could if you had time. If you convinced them to say, could we do this like a couple of hours later?
Now they're not going to.
That depends.
I'm going to spend a few seconds just like surveying it. What's the best path?
As you're surveying the best parts and stuff like that, you've noticed that, because you guys haven't been quiet about this, the sailors are kind of like, you know, with each other, you know, looking on, you know, seeing how this is going to go down. Some of them start, you know, exchanging coin amongst themselves. I think to one particular individual who decided to go, I'm going to put my money on. Who's going? You, and you.
Do you even have rope?
I think I do.
Rope and climbing pittons?
This one particular guy you've noticed has put his money on. He's pointed to you.
Oh shit. He's going to be disappointed.
I'm going to sit down and do a quick prayer to the,
Yeah.
the gods of my land.
I'm going
Does
to
that give you a massive
cast
bonus?
guidance on myself.
Yep.
I'll counter set.
All right.
The prayer that I was doing
I
was
see.
casting.
What was it?
Nothing!
Do a perception
Come
roll.
on.
Do a perception roll. Everyone who's involved,
Okay.
18.
including if you're not playing.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
wanted to
that
see
is
if I
not
know that
20.
he's casting something.
25.
Do I make a deception check?
Yes.
Natural.
You normally can't do this. You cast a spell, it's pretty obvious, but I'll let you do it this time.
21 for deception.
I
So I got a plus 10.
Me too.
know.
I also
what's he
know because I
done?
got 25.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Very good, you understand the rules. No wings, no animals, let's go.
No spells.
That was not part of agreement, I'm ready.
Wait, have I overheard
Okay,
this?
okay.
Yes.
I've overheard this and I've
Ready
gone,
spell
wait, what?
hold person on him.
I'm just
The moment he says go.
Alright. I'm just gonna... I'll leave it.
Alright, you'll leave it? You'll
Actually,
leave it?
I want to see how this goes
these two are
out.
my biggest threats. Twin spell hold person.
Alright, anything else?
Oh boy. You open the magical door.
Can I ready uncanny
Entertaining
dodge?
better than effective.
Doesn't work in this particular case. But you want to make a uncanny dodge anyway. You don't have to ready it.
I don't know who this
Just
is.
got the spell, never had a chance to use it, so what's the practice?
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, let's go then.
Alright. First and foremost, everyone roll initiative.
Okay.
D10.
Who's involved in the climb?
D10.
I'm actually thinking of turning it back to D20 because you can get some pretty powerful initiative modifiers out there.
9.
9?
Oh, you're going to get the point. I roll that as well. But you've got a higher dex, I think.
Yeah, I will. 4.
4?
Doesn't mean you
11.
can't hold person.
11?
11.
Alright. What'd you get?
9. I got the same as him, but he's got
But
a
I
higher
used
dexterity,
that.
so he'll go further.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, no.
You guys go and go, and you get off the mark first.
I mean, this is just a big bold tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
This should be easy.
Okay.
Now,
Big
you know what's my
tree.
my
Big bold
activation
tree.
for casting whole person?
Yes, but it'll be on your initiative. So you go first.
Yep. I
Roll either athletics or acrobatics.
Yes. So I got +3.
Definitely athletics.
12.
12.
Yes.
You're okay at this present moment. The lower part's a little bit easier as you're getting up top because you've actually got to climb up the side, and then you got to climb across the actual. You got to like, because let's have some fun with this. You've actually got to climb or tightrope walk essentially, but it's like a thicker because it's the mast across the thing. Then climb up the mast on the second port, and then go out to the edge of the second one.
As long as it's entertaining.
It's entertaining, yeah. So the first one to basically go up,
So we've set
go
a
along.
course, basically.
Yeah, set a course, yeah, and you go up and then you go on the edge. And then once you get to the edge, you've won. And hope you don't fall.
Do I hear the commotion and come and see?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I just want to observe.
Yeah, of course you can. You can
I'll
come
have
up and
to
observe.
invite everyone to watch all this.
Alright, so next on the initiative is the two knights.
Just curious, does it help at all that my speed is 35 as opposed to
I'm not going to worry about speed too much, but yeah, with 35 I will consider that you've got a little bit of
If you're going at
advantage.
like quarter speed, you go 1 foot more than everyone else.
It's not used
Two nines. So the very first thing is that you two will need to do is a wisdom save.
17 plus whatever my wisdom is, which is 3, so 20.
Yep.
So you'll sort of say
I'm at +4, you can get a 2.
You go to move and you're just like, oh.
You feel this wave of spell power of some particular type come over you from him.
But break it, pretty much.
But it's like, yeah, whatever. It's like, you was expecting something like that, and you climb up. So do me athletics or acrobatics.
18.
Okay. You managed to, with your climbing ability, get ahead of him. There are two sides you can go up, so you don't have to go up the same side if you don't want to. Then next you can have a go at climbing. At
Oh no, we can move as part
Oh,
of
you
this
can
stuff.
Yes.
climb on the
Yes.
line.
I'm going to say at disadvantage though because you did cast a spell.
Alright, well then I'm not going very far. That's a 9.
Alright. So remember your scores. You got a 9, you got an 18,
Yep.
and you got 12. And you're held.
You got 0.
End of your turn, do a save.
I love it.
And my turn to it. Yep.
Yeah.
16.
You are fine, I believe.
Yeah, 15's fine.
Alright, so it goes around to the next round. You again?
Actually,
Okay.
the end of the next turn.
He's
Isn't it
already done
usually
it.
end of his turn?
But he's already done it.
Yeah, you
So-
went before me.
Yeah.
So I haven't had my turn yet.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you that was your turn.
I go
Yeah.
last in
Oh.
each round.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it still stops him from doing anything this round because it's
Yeah.
always at the end of the round.
Oh boy, that's a 7.
7. You're next, and you're next.
Uh,
Oh, did you add
I
it?
did.
13.
13. You?
Cast again.
Who's currently in the lead?
Me, by a lot.
Alright. Subtle spell, so that I don't have to use any thing.
No, I can't concentrate on
You
this.
realise there's a risk of me falling and dying.
You're not that high yet.
You're not that high yet.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
There is falling and there is damage involved, but not enough to kill you.
And if I just do whole person, you're just going to freeze in place, probably on the ropes or something. If I do my other option, which is mage hand and like try and pull your leg or something, then you might come on.
If you run out of spell slots, worry.
Yeah. Mage hand's a cantrip.
Mage hand, wet willy.
That's disadvantage because of distraction.
Alright, yeah, I'll cast whole person on him again.
Alright, just on him?
Yeah, just on him.
Okay, go for it.
12 plus 3, so 15.
So you'll save.
He'll save, yeah. Yeah, he's a defender, he'll save.
So we're going to get attacked right after this, and we'll be all out of spell slots.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then
Oh,
it's gonna
wait.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm the only person fatigued.
natural 20.
And
Disadvantage because you cast a spell.
Damn. But no, subtle, so I didn't actually have to do anything. I can literally keep going.
Oh yeah, good point, you did
No
subtle.
somatic component.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, alright, I'm happy with that. Natural 20. What does that become overall?
23.
Okay. So you rolled, original, what did you roll?
I rolled a 9.
9 and 23. So you're at 31?
I'm at 31 as well.
31. So you've caught up.
19.
He's still just marginally ahead. You did a roll. You rolled a 7. didn't you?
I'm at 19 total.
19 total. Now your turn. You can actually roll.
I've got spider climb, so I've got a climb speed of 30.
Okay. You still climb up the side.
Yep.
You don't have to roll.
I don't want to overtake them yet.
Okay.
Well, if you
only make it look like
you're only going to go 30.
Make it look like you're not doing it.
Well, I'm one round behind, so I catch up really quickly, but I'm just kind of hanging out.
I'm gonna walk up to these two.
Like basically, what happens when you two are actually climbing up and stuff like that. He basically gets to the side and goes sideways because he's basically just using his feet climbing up like a spider, and he immediately knows it's like spider climbing. And he's basically going up the side at a vertical angle, horizontal angle, and he's basically just look like he's walking up like that.
And I'm waving to you.
Now he still hasn't quite caught you yet, okay? Because you guys are at 31.
I'm gonna turn to these two and be like, "What's going on here?"
They decided that they were bored and they were going to have a competition to see who could get to the top quickest.
Oh,
And apparently I'm cheating more than everyone.
I have a potion of climbing.
Dude.
Oh well, and that's it.
How far from the top are we?
You guys are now on the
Yes,
beam,
I do.
first beam.
That's right.
So the next one's got to be acrobatics check.
No one asked.
That's still
what I
climbing 'cause you
did,
can just climb up
but
the
I
mast.
just held on to it.
Okay, but I mean the balancing check has got to be acrobatics.
Yeah, the balancing
People
is definitely
need it,
best.
but-
That's really all or nothing, though.
Yeah, that's
Fireball!
Backup play!
Yes!
That is
Backup plan.
literally all or nothing.
Alright,
Aim at the base of the mast!
You just stand your ground and destroy all the masts ahead of you and go, I climbed here first.
alright, so back to the top of the round. You?
Yes.
Okay, you still just got to do a normal climbing roll because you're way behind those guys.
I got nothing else. So, how much higher up is the rope that we have to climb across?
Basically, once you've hit the 30 point mark for your rolls, totals, then you're up at that point.
Okay.
Or move 30 feet, so he's basically already up the top. He's just gone past you.
I'll try and catch up.
All I can see in my head is like dancing on the ceiling.
17.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, dancing on the ceiling.
Walking up the.
I got 17.
You got 17? That's pretty
Yeah.
good. You are now pretty much at the top of the same place that they are, and probably slightly in as well. So you two next. So now it's definitely acrobatics only,
Unless you're casting spells.
unless you're casting spells.
I'm going to cast Human Determination for this one.
Haven't you already?
What did you
No,
get?
no, you've already used it for today.
No, I haven't because
No,
we had the sleep.
No, this was the next day after.
This is the next day, so we slept.
But no,
So-
but you used it after sleep for the fatigue.
No.
No, that was the day before. That was the day before.
Oh yeah,
This is
we
day
did have
3.
another.
This is day 3, so I'm actually okay.
Oh, so does it
So-
no longer have fatigue?
No, you're not looking at fatigue.
Nat 20 plus 7.
Nice. You just go.
Yeah.
Alright. Using my ring of jumping, I triple my jump height and try to jump to the next bit.
Is that the
All or nothing.
All or nothing.
You missed that. You're going in the drink.
I got wings as backup.
Roll with your acrobatics.
Of course, it's
disqualified if
one.
10 plus 3, and then I will add my.
Guidance.
Well, yes, my guidance.
You haven't used that yet?
No,
I
yeah.
haven't used it yet. What was it? Just 1d4?
1d4, yeah.
1d4. Then I'll also use my ancestral thingy that gives me the 2d4 on top of that.
Isn't that only if you fail?
Well, I guess.
Yeah, it is failed.
Yeah.
If you do manage to fail.
I technically haven't failed, so.
Yeah, yeah.
4. Well, we'll see. Let's go 3 on top of that, so that is 16.
You fail.
So I don't manage to grab hold of
You
catch the.
jumped the height, but you just couldn't quite pick up.
Now I'll use it to get the extra on top. That's an extra 8.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Maximum possible roll.
20 was the number I was looking at.
Okay, well, yeah.
You managed to basically just go and pull yourself up.
Yes.
Now, you're not quite at the end of the next one, but you basically just skipped a whole range.
That was just my movement. Now that I'm up here and stable.
I'm playing this out of sequence at this present moment in time.
Yes.
What's your armor class?
My armor class is only 13.
Alright. You, all as you're racing, and you guys as you're watching this, because you're all looking up, you hear...
Jesus Christ!
Someone's trying to stack the deck.
You are hit.
Do we see who shot it?
It only took 2 points of damage.
No.
That's one of the sailors.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna walk over and deck him.
Do me another acrobatics check.
Yes, I figured that was coming. 16.
Alright, you managed to sort of not get knocked off as this gunfire shoots into you and hits you in the calf. And you go, oh, Jesus. One more roll to get you to the end. One more roll acrobatics because you're going to use your movement to get.
Oh, yeah.
Off the rope already?
Wasn't that his movement?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
We'll
the jump
leave
one.
it no, we'll leave it at that.
So I could use my action maybe to do something, but.
We'll leave it at that. We'll say the whole round was doing that.
Yeah, because I would probably waste my action keeping myself steady.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actually, activating an item, I think, is a action or something.
It is action, yeah.
It just says it's a bonus action to activate.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, jump spell is. Yeah. Alright, your turn.
Okay.
You just basically just go.
So I saw someone shoot.
Yep.
I am going to race up the
Mainmast?
up the mast.
Mm-hmm.
Can I summon a gun?
No.
Okay.
Too complex.
God, I wasn't even going to shoot you.
Okay.
I was going to shoot the guy who shot you. Because I want a fair cheating fight.
Don't worry, the guy that shot him is going to have to deal with
Probably
me
should
and
have
the
done the jump
dwarf.
for start.
I'm about to
Save
tackle
this
him.
Yep.
A rage.
Yeah.
Crash tackle?
I will
Crash tackle.
charge up next to.
You tackle him without too much of an issue.
And punch him in the face.
It's like two people sitting next to him and laughing their heads off at the whole scene. Rolling around, laughing their heads off at the whole thing. He's like, oh fuck, Jesus God!
Suddenly a table.
Suddenly a table came in.
I start half-heartedly trying to like hold her back, and I'm just like,
No, like, hey,
Don't kill him.
just
I'm gonna tackle it and then fart in his face. And then get off him.
don't kill him. You can hurt him just a little.
Punch, fart, and get off.
So he's holding the dwarf by the
And
belt.
growl.
Roll a d20.
I was going to say, he needs to make a constitution save now.
Oh man. What am I adding anything to this?
Acrobatics. Not acrobatics, sorry, athletics.
Athletics?
But gaining speed.
Wow.
24?
Bring.
Holy shit. He's like,
Wait, is that right?
Yeah, that's
The dwarf's next.
He's probably going from the other deck down from Roy now.
then you fart in his face
Yes.
without too much of an issue. I roll a 5.
Fart in his face.
Fart in his face.
He's probably gonna
I'm
need
the only
a
one not cheating! What is this?
Let's correct that. You're the only one incapable of shooting.
He's probably gonna have to do a concentration.
I did. He rolled a 5 for Constitution.
Oh, he ain't gonna be feeling
He's
too
like,
good.
oh, Jesus God! What the fuck was that? Ah, a dwarf just farted in my face! Oh my God! Oh! Two other sailors.
Capable of speech.
Two other sailors are right next to him and is like fucking laughing their heads
She's
off.
looking
They're like on the
real
ground, just
proud with herself.
100% laughing.
That's right. Don't you mess with this.
Whose role is it?
I've lost track.
I think it's me.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it is you. Yeah.
So
'Cause you
I
did
would-
your normal movement up.
Caught up close
Yeah.
to you.
No, he's actually the level above.
No, you would have caught up to me.
Yeah, you were caught up to
No,
him. In fact,
he
you
was
probably.
just
Spider climb
He's
of
just
the
behind
full
you.
30 foot.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
had the turn disadvantage.
Yeah.
One turn disadvantage.
Yeah, but I caught up to you last turn.
Yeah.
No. He's ahead of you because he doesn't have to roll or climb or steady
Yeah, he
himself
was
or anything
just
like that.
behind
He's actually
you.
managed to get ahead of you.
He was just
In
behind you.
fact, this is what's happened.
18 and 20.
Yeah, no. This is what happened. Like going across the tightrope path. Yeah, cheating. Going around the tightrope path, you can't like just go run across.
Yeah.
You're basically just going.
Yep.
You know, and setting yourself, making sure you're not falling and stuff. Going across. So you're going to be moving at half your speed.
Yep.
Right. He comes in.
you know, just does.
Probably upside down.
Yeah, he does. He goes upside
Underneath
down,
you.
and then comes back up, waves.
Okay, so
Because you're not cheating. They are.
Okay, so
You can either be neck and neck with me or very close to me.
I want to know where people are. So I'm at the rope that you have to cross.
You're last, sitting at the rope. You've just reached the top of the rope.
Yeah.
He's now pretty much at the mast, so he's got to do his climb roll next to get up to the next rung.
Yep.
He's pretty much at the mast too, but probably halfway up there, just doing the spider climb up the side.
Okay.
And he's already up top with one more action to basically get across to the end.
Okay. So it's climb across the rope from one mast to the other, and then climb the other mast.
Yep.
Here's what I want to do.
Yep.
I'm going to cast Gust of Wind directly down on the second mast.
All right. You cast
To knock them off.
to knock them off. You cast your Gust of Wind. You two make dexterity saves. You make one with advantage because you're slightly on the outside.
Do I get any bonuses?
Hang on.
Who's on what mast?
How do my dexterity saves work with Uncanny Throw?
No, it doesn't work with anything.
This is wind, not like a
Something
sword.
that affects my dex saves.
Not yet, I don't think.
No, not until level 7.
I'm confused. Who's on what mast?
Right, these two guys are on the mast, and he's basically on the very top
Sail.
crossbeam.
Crossbar.
Spars, I think it's the word.
Thank you for the advantage. So it was either a
Sorry?
4.
Where's the druid?
Druid's at the top of the first crossbeam.
I've not even crossed the rope yet, so I'm like, okay, I'll slow him down with some wind.
Yeah.
It was either a 4 or a 23.
It's strength saving throw.
Does spider climb give any?
What did you get first?
Okay, well.
4 dice.
Oh, so not acrobatic save?
Reflex save?
Yep.
That is 17.
Yeah, no problems.
4 plus 7, so 11.
Okay. You fall. You get blown down.
What was it gonna
Roll
no.
a acrobatics check.
You'll be fine.
18.
You fall down. You lose your footing and you fall, but you catch yourself onto that first rung, so first beam, before you actually fall.
Okay, cool.
Just saying, the ropes.
Yeah.
Think of
So, if I'm now hanging from, I assume there's a bundle of ropes around the mast where I roughly am, and I'm hanging on to one of them.
Yeah. So if you were standing on that crossbeam there, you're now under the crossbeam, hanging on.
Cool. I'm gonna take my bonus action as cunning action to take an insight check into the ropes to figure out which one, if I cut underneath where I'm holding, will throw me upwards.
Ooh, roll.
In the gust of wind.
Roll.
What? 10 plus insight, which is 6, so 16.
There is one particular rope that you can cut. It will take you, it's reasonable distance away, so you'll have to do an attack roll on it.
Yep.
And hopefully do enough damage you can actually cut the rope. But it might do the trick. Roll away.
Do you get sneak
Attack?
attack versus rope?
No, no.
Insightful fighting on rope.
If I didn't ask, he was going.
Weakest fiber.
Roll away.
So, dagger, I assume.
Whatever works.
Okay.
Probably not a rapier.
No.
Actually, no, it doesn't matter. It's all the same in these rules.
Yeah. It's all theatrics.
Might be slashing damage.
8 plus 7, so 15.
15. 15 is a good number. Roll your damage. It is D4 plus your dex.
D4 plus dex.
Yep.
Right. Only one. Should we call that Jack Dice?
7.
7. You use your dagger. You cut the rope. The rope gets cut. You're holding onto a bit of rope, but the wind that he's been casting is also still pushing down. This is all happening all roughly at the same time.
At half speed, I think.
Yeah. However, what happens is the wind that's blowing you down gives you that momentum to swing.
Yes.
And you swing up, and you basically, realizing what's going on, you shift your weight like you're on a swing to keep with that momentum. So, you do the swing down, and then once you start going up, you do the swing up. And you start going above that first brace, up to the second brace. Now, at this particular point in time, you're starting to slow down because gravity's taking hold.
So acrobatics again.
Don't fuck this up.
Yeah, you've already used your human
very
turn.
Right. Also, if he wants to grab the mask, it's like re-enter the column of wind and then grab
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that is a possibility. Yes, depending on what he rolls.
16 plus Dex 7, so
Yep.
23.
You have the dexterity. You know you're not quite going to reach it, and the gravity's going to go away with you. But you prepared for it. You let go, and because the rope itself is kind of getting in the way, you let go. You sail a little bit more. The momentum starts, and you realise that you're starting to drop, and you reach up, and you miss the actual bit of rope. Miss the bit of wood to get up into that particular thing. Realising you have that moment of panic when you realise you haven't quite got it. And then, because you were looking up when you were doing this, you go, holy shit, I'm about to fall, and you do what every person does and look down. As you look down, your head turns and you see another dangling bit of rope.
Oh, that was save.
And then you grab that.
Oh, I got it. Alright.
And how much rope burn does he take?
It's a good point, actually.
He's got grip strength like you wouldn't believe.
You do. It jolts as you pick up onto it. You get a bit of rope burn and a massive muscle strain.
Yep.
And take 6 points of damage.
Ouch.
To level 5.
Yes, it's part of the course.
And that is where you are now. You have basically just ahead of him. However, you are dangling at the present moment of time.
Oh yeah.
And it's my turn.
Actually, no, I haven't moved yet.
Still a bad
No,
roll.
yes, it starts to spell. So do you move? Do you climb roll?
I don't care, I pulled off something
Disadvantage
badass with
spell.
it.
I'm just watching going, well, shit.
6. Because you casting a spell, you manage to sort of not get all that much further. So you're sort of like, you're in the middle of the first beam.
Okay.
So you're still still behind everyone else. Okay. Yes, that was his turn. That happened. So I'm going to consider that part of your turn, though. What all that just happened there.
It's fair.
It's fair.
It is fair.
But it was badass.
It was badass.
Mage hand.
This is a dead fight
I just wanted you to remember that I could do that.
No, it's fine. You just land on the dwarf.
Pretty much. I was gonna say, don't worry, us three are at the bottom looking up.
This is legitimately dead fight.
How much further do I have to go?
You've basically got 1 or 2 good rolls to get to the end.
With wind pushing down on you.
Yeah. 2 average rolls will get you there. 1 good roll might.
You're gonna
get
have
you there.
to end it at some point to get past it.
Yeah, when I get there, but I'm not there yet.
Because you rolled badly.
He's got to do a roll to get himself back up onto the beam,
I could column down.
and then another roll to actually see if he can get to the end.
From
60 feet up.
I might subtle spell guidance on myself.
Yep.
So I don't have to actually do anything.
Okay. But I will put you at a disadvantage for whatever you're doing after this.
No, but it's
Subtle spell.
no somatic components.
Ah, sorry, I
Yeah,
forgot your subtle spelling.
That's fine.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Subtle spelling. Yep.
11 plus. That is 11.
All right. You managed to sort of like on the very top thing. He's just like going that. Try not to look down so you don't freak yourself out. But yeah, you don't get all that far. Wasn't that great? You're really feeling the height here and going. Oh, this
Height's
is.
not an issue for me.
That's true, but you're in a different scenario because you know you can save yourself with the wings, but you're not with the wings at the moment, and you're doing something outside of what you normally do.
I could, instead of Spider Club, I could have cast Hex on someone to give a disadvantage on one stat of my
Yeah,
choice.
Yeah,
Ah,
people end up
so-
killing someone doing
It's
that.
now your go. You basically just go.
It's probably still slowed down by the wind a bit.
Yeah, it'll slow down on the other wind a little bit, yes, because it becomes difficult terrain, so that slows you down.
But I'm still, it's half of a full move instead of half of a...
Exactly right. Yeah. So basically,
I knew I should
if
cast
they don't,
silence.
if either one of these guys don't get to the end, you win. Simple as that on the next round. That's pretty much how it's going to be, unless something else happens.
I should have
I'm
cast
fine.
silence before he could cast the spell.
All right. So back to the top of the round. You.
Okay. I'm going to try and get across the other
I
map.
can just cast
Yep.
silence. Just the one. I don't need this.
6.
Overall,
Yep.
You move 6 feet.
That was bad.
You're gonna fall.
Roll a dex save.
Oh shit.
Okay. That's a 22.
You go like you're really going really slow. You slip. Your left leg falls, like that sudden just fall. Your right leg
goes west, your right leg goes east.
Yeah.
and your dogs go crunch.
One of them goes port, one of them goes starboard.
I got a 22.
That's a voice you make as well.
Basically, what happens as soon as your left leg slips and falls down, probably like 6 inches or something like that, you're just not used to this. All of a sudden, you're feeling that your whole body just starts falling really quickly. And you're like scrambling, going, because you've got nothing to grab onto. There's nothing in the area that you can grab onto. However, at the very last moment, as you're about here, you hook your other leg that's still kind of in that rough area around the whole thing, and you're hanging upside down with the beam basically sitting in the back of your knee.
The beam?
Yeah, the beam that you're walking across.
Oh, yeah.
So can you coil out Oi Fei instead of Oi Bei?
Oh no, this is a problem. I don't have much for high up, except gust of wind. Okay, I'm done.
Well, you'll be able to get out of here fine, because once
Now.
the competition's over, you can just drop or change into a lizard.
Yes.
You two, at the same time, on the same initiative.
So I'm going to take another cunning action,
Mm-hmm.
and this time I'm going to try and hinder both of them by anything I possibly can.
Like
rope.
stand on his torso because he's walking up like this.
I'm basically
jump on him
going to
and
take
jump
an
on him.
inside action for anything useful to me.
Okay,
At the moment.
roll.
That's a D10.
You're free to accept that as your roll.
17 plus insight, so 23.
On both of these guys, you want to try and see if you can find something.
Just anything either useful to me or can hinder either of them.
Pull down the trout.
That mage hand is bloody useful right now.
What have you got on you?
On me, I've got ball bearings, string, bells, candles, crowbars, hammer, pittons, lanterns.
But you've got your entire adventuring kit and backpack while climbing the thing.
Yeah, I think. Yep. Actually, good point. No, I don't.
But you
I've got
specifically have rope.
You have your
rope and
pet mouse.
rope and pittons
Oi,
and
you
a
have your
crowbar.
pet. You have your pet mouse.
Yeah, actually, pet
Yeah,
mouse.
you okay? Pet mouse, go out, because we're
Good point.
terminal velocity straight
basically
to the
rope,
ground.
the pittons, and the crowbar,
Rope, the pittons, and the crowbar.
and a dagger.
I'm sure if you throw a crowbar at him, it'll distract him.
Pretty much.
He's also
Pretty much.
hanging onto a rope right now.
I
Oh,
end up
he's
killing
fly.
him, so I'm not going to do that. In that case, is there anything I can use as
You know he can fly.
But we did say no wings.
Only if the
You know he can save himself.
And no animals.
Ah, yes, I know mouse anyways.
Oh yeah.
No, there was no change.
Isn't the insight
Well,
check
you
more
said
for
no
my
animals.
environment?
No animals.
More than what I can have?
It is about your environment, so it is a mixture of both. What you're carrying on you sometimes, how to use it in your
How
environment.
it would interact
Yeah.
with my environment.
So in this particular case, you throw anything at him, it should distract him enough to force him to potentially not move and keep his balance, or maybe even fall.
It's like you're playing a point and click, and I'm just like, hey, maybe this, or this.
I still have a caster for person. And I still have mage hand. Both of which will cause you to plummet very, very fast and fast.
It's almost simultaneous.
Yes.
So, does that mean you have to decide what you're doing at basically the same time?
Yeah, I've already got my decision.
Which is?
I'm going to I kind of want to cast hold person. I'm not that cool because it will probably kill him. Because
Well, it'll put me into death saves, and there's people down below who can. Yeah. Unless it's going to. How high are we? Are we talking about double
We're at
my health
60
sort of damage?
60 feet off the deck.
So, what does that convert to?
So
Usually-
about
usually-
5-story building.
4 or 5 stories.
And
So it's splatter.
Yes.
You normally take
Well,
do
you
you
wouldn't
turn
reach
damage
terminal
for
velocity,
every
but because of the
5.
gust of wind, you probably will.
You've literally just made a funnel of death.
Exactly, and if
I'm
I
just
guess
going
if
to
you fall,
guidance myself again,
they're
and
pushed
move on.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to try and
15
kill
feet
my
in addition to
companion.
him falling already.
Alright, you do your roll.
This time.
Natural 20.
Oh.
He's just like,
Alright, I'm gonna fling the crowbar.
fling the crowbar, roll an attack roll
For what?
to attack him.
No, but like, how does it work?
Ah, it's
I
range.
added to it, miss.
Okay.
Mark one
you just
crossbow
hits
off
the
your
deck.
inventory list.
And you see it. It's now in the bottom of the ocean.
Or gets carried down by the wind and just hits the deck.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he probably would actually.
You
Probably
could
just
impale one of the
He's
people
throwing
below.
it from the mast outwards.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, crowbar's gone?
Crow's back on. I'll roll.
What did you cast, Ash?
Natural 20. It just goes
Guidance.
tick, 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 tick on the deck.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, then I'm gonna
No, I'd say like got caught in the gust of wind and bedded himself in the deck.
Oh yeah.
Except he's not in the gust of wind anymore. He's on the very edge of it, facing outwards.
This is
Yeah,
all.
it
This is
depends
all
on if
sort
they
of.
roll- yeah,
This is very
yeah.
abstract. So
It depends on if they're on the same cross.
Like the gust of
it went,
wind.
went like this. He went, throop,
Alright.
and then he's going.
Considering that was something I had, can I use that insightful check that I had on ropes again?
That was your insightful check. The fact that you could actually do that.
Use it without a penalty.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So then I'm just rolling for climbing then.
correct.
Cool. Okay, that makes sense. 23.
And your 20 becomes
My
Oh, no,
natural
wait,
20
hang
is
on,
23.
21.
21. You get up just as he's about crossing over, and you're both basically sitting right next to each other as you get up, and that's where you both are.
Okay.
Like a boomerang.
I've got a description for how I go on mine as well.
Okay. Which basically means you're next. Which basically means you win. Yeah.
So there was no way for you.
No, because I didn't. He might have because he's got better stats,
He's got one better dexterity than me.
but he's also proficient in acrobatics.
Proficient in acrobatics.
So that's 4 points different.
Yeah.
Damn my natural 20.
Yeah, you have to. You have to
Wait,
roll well.
Can I use my guidance then? Because it gives me an extra d4.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, alright. 1.
You are slightly ahead.
So my plan was to be sort of crawling along the underside of the beam, the spar, or whatever, going out to the side, and at the end just sort of poke my head up and go.
So 3 of us made it pretty much at the same time.
Pretty much, yeah. But just because he didn't have to do rolls, he just went. Cheated like no tomorrow.
Recast the whole person.
You see, I aimed to cheat. Your cheating was just a reaction.
You're being influenced.
I know. It's bad.
And an afternoon of travelling on a ship has turned into a very interesting.
Well, not many
Race.
of us took damage.
No, that's right. Yeah.
I took a little bit.
And he got shot.
Too. Yeah.
as you reach the end of
Yeah,
it,
why don't it shoot him?
How did rope burn do more damage to me than a bullet did to you?
dice. He even had a bigger dice on his.
Oh
Nice
boy.
and blow for him. Just a bit of a dragon's pass with the bullet. Tis with a
Alright.
scratch.
Just bit of scratch. Your race is over. There is one particular gentleman down the bottom that goes, "Yay!" Another one goes,
So who won?
another sailor. The one you guys spotted was the one that bit him.
Out of these
He did.
3?
He did.
Okay.
Yep, I lost my silver again.
Okay. Immediately, now that I'm standing on the top of a very rickety platform with high wind gusts, I'm
Dispel
going
the
to tie
wind.
myself to the mast with a 50-foot feet.
All right, you do that. You do that.
I was going to offer to help you down.
I wouldn't mind.
As soon as the race is over, I just dispel the wind.
Because I've got like, call it 58 minutes left of spider climb.
This is climbing all.
So I walk along and help anyone down who needs.
Probably just carry us down.
Oh, I am
He's
not
not
carrying
that strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
strength.
right.
Strength 6.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Oh
am.
wow.
Yeah.
Literally a spider.
Crunchy on the outside.
Well,
Yeah.
you could
That's
go and
why I don't even carry a sword most of the time.
you could
It's
go
too
and
heavy.
you could go and put all my pittons in for me and tie them up.
No, I'll just hold out a hand while I'm.
You'll find that this usually notches in other bits and pieces in a mast for you gliding.
Oh, so if we're not racing, it's probably
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say, if you're not
exactly.
racing, it's very safe to climb.
Yeah.
It does
I'm not going to
need
make you
be
do
right.
rolls for climbing and stuff like that.
I'm going to collect the winnings. And go. This goes to party fund. This was not me trying to take advantage. It was a bit of fun. It was a bit of.
I've subtracted two silver from my sheet.
Ah, so 2 silver.
So whoever was betting, add that to the group funds.
So, who bet?
2.
So
Four,
add
6.
8 silver to it.
Yeah, because I bet on him to win and lost.
Oh man,
300.
very nice.
So that was our little distraction for the afternoon.
Playing around, burning
I
lots
was
of
half
spell
tempted
slots.
when you get up there, just one person.
So, what effect did the cut rope have?
Yes.
Oh shit.
It wasn't too bad. One of the sailors do need to go up and fix it, but
So the sail
Everyone-
unwound.
Ritualistic mending.
oh yeah, you can just mend it. Yeah,
So on the way down, you just sort of like put the
Mending
two
a
pieces
ritual,
of
is it?
rope together and you just.
mending a ritual.
It's 1 minute cast.
Ah, I won't mean to cast.
You
Sorry,
just
it's one
fly
of your
around and
cantrips,
connect
isn't
them.
it? Yeah, you mend it. It still needs to probably, even though you can mend the rope, it probably still needs to be weaved back
Yeah.
through what I was doing.
Most badass climbing technique.
But most
So stoked that
When he gets down, I sort of like I walk over and I just sort of go, "That was impressive." And I just sort of nod and then walk off again.
That's probably the best compliment you get from a dragonborn if you were not a dragonborn,
Yes.
so I'm stoked.
That was less shit than normal.
And that's
That was
the
a
best
good
compliment
display of
from
like
any of you.
acrobatics for a
Oh no,
human.
no, I was going to say it. That was good. So human.
Yeah, basically.
These ball trees are terrible to climb.
one thing, it is pretty much getting 9:30, which is usually when you got to get picked up. Most of what's going to happen for us, this is a bit more role playing, so I'm happy just to continue on just without him being here. So
I got a bit of fun.
yeah, cool. All right, that was eventful.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
You made some good friends. The sailors thought that was one of the best things they've seen in quite some time. So a lot of them like patting you on the back and having a.
I'm now passing around drinks.
Yeah, you're passing around drinks. So like, oh yeah, everyone's getting involved.
For morale.
Let's show them a bit of a display. See, if, perhaps you can use your magics to move things without touching.
I can see Mage Hand though, that's the problem. You can see Mage Hand.
Can you though?
You're not
He's
touching
got-
it, just-
You've
corporeal
got
hand
climbing
is-
Unless
and
you-
sticky liquid, and we didn't think to get either of you.
Oh, I don't have sticky liquid yet. I'm brewing.
Oh, okay,
I'm making
brewing.
some, but I
You're
don't have it
lucky
yet.
Amber didn't decide to join in the contest because she'd be halfway up and then drop a smoke bomb.
What do you think? No, you'd say go and she'd go bang.
I would have loved that because eye for deceit means I see through that. I've
Oh
got
no, it's even better
hindsight.
because you do that and then there'll be the gust of wind.
Sends it away.
And then all these revenge ships be like, what's happening over there?
Yeah.
It's like some fireballs going on.
There'll be this mushroom cloud appear.
I'm so glad you didn't
chat
try
with some of the
I was not going to blow up the ship.
sailors. Have a bit of sort of minor magic for entertainment and stuff, and
Like what you did there, it's pretty good. It's good fun.
I'm sharing them all some my dwarf.
How-
Yeah,
how
I
does
like this
acid
stuff,
bullets
yeah.
go?
Oh man, it's pig's well, but yeah, it's it's alright.
I'll find out.
Hey,
you'll
my
find
dwarven
out
ale
what
is pretty
the
good. Pretty good.
With the activities you guys have just done and handing out the dwarven ale and stuff like that, it gets into the evening, but everyone's feeling a lot better. It was like a really good thing, and they're all talking about it. Like there's a lot of talk about your just spectacular rope thing that happened.
I also want to just keep track of who shot at.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, I thought it in his face at the time.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm currently throwing up.
Did I
He's
know-
like, for the rest of the night, just every once in a while, it's like,
Did I notice
And
he
then
took
for
the
some
shot?
some reason he pulls an ass hair out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Magician trick.
Roll me a d20. Do a essentially perception roll. What?
13 plus 6, so 19.
Roll it again because it's gonna make you do it at disadvantage because you're doing this all while all this was happening.
6 plus 12.
12. It's not that hard to actually find out who it was.
Okay.
You saw probably in your last moments as you're doing all the climbing and stuff like that, dwarf wrestled, farted in his face.
Yeah. So while we're carousing, I'm going to take an insightful fighting check on it.
Mm-hmm.
5 plus insight, which is 11.
Okay. What are you trying to find out? You trying to find
Just
anything?
insightful fighting. It's
Okay.
against his deception.
Yep.
Or, actually, no. Let's take that as a standard perception and say, do I think he will do it again?
Are you pretty sure he just did it for the fight? For the match.
Alright.
He's not doing it just to actually hurt anyone, like killing anyone. He wanted to basically just make sure he had less of a chance of winning because he looked like he was winning pretty well, and obviously he didn't bet for him.
That said, I'm still going to kill him.
It's day 3! Remember, just before we dock.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here for months.
Or at least at
You
night
throw
when
a
no one's
corpse
going to see the
overboard,
body.
no one knows anything about it.
Empty
Press
bottle of
splash.
booze and like a slip on a wet deck. It happens.
Yeah,
All
his
right.
head was
The evening.
Stream, just drop out.
I'm not sure.
Because it's loading on your laptop.
No, it's doing really well. It's got 0% drop frames.
Weird.
It's probably it's probably on my end for the upload because it's using it through the wireless. But that was the first time we did that, so yeah, I was a bit surprised too. All right, yes. You guys have a bit of revelry with the sailors and the captain and the first mate for the evening. Have a good old yarn and good old chat about everything that happened for the day. And everyone's in good spirits. It was a lot of fun. And then you all head to bed because you know it's not smart to get too drunk when you're on a ship only 3 days in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't get drunk. You just drink a lot. You just don't get drunk.
Exactly. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, for you, it's not a case of getting drunk. It's a case of being less or more sober.
Yeah.
Maintaining
Yeah.
its
It's
relative
yo-ho-ho and a
normality.
keg of rum.
Yeah. It's more just like I will try and encourage everyone to keep drinking.
So
Rum. It comes
the next day, which is the fourth day,
It's going to be a long 3 months.
it's gonna be. I'm not gonna do it all like this. I'm just doing a few things, and then suddenly a week will pass.
Just let me know when my brews are done.
And I want those acid bolts.
By the fourth day, the sailing's been pretty swift. The wind's been keeping going. On this fourth day, notice that there's a bit of a cloud looming ahead, and your druid craft basically tells you that rain and winds and storms are coming in this general area.
So we shouldn't try fishing.
What do you say if there's rain coming? What do you say if there's rain coming?
Is rain coming?
Batten down the hatches.
Subtly.
But you also realise that particular storm is a potential of passing us, and if it does hit us, it's going to be probably towards the end of the day as opposed to the start of the day.
Don't bend the hatches yet. In a bit though. It's fine.
On the horizon, it's probably not too hard to notice by now.
Between us and the
You probably hear the guy up in the crow's nest basically saying, ships, carrying the red flag with the yellow wreath. Ravenna.
Fireball would fix that.
This is a new day, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, I'm fireballed up.
Yep. Smells back.
Yeah, but
What's
distance is the issue.
I have
It's
this spell.
150.
I can increase the rate.
Oh my
How
god.
far?
So double? Is it
If
double?
we build that small trebuchet, put him in it, and fire him, and he fires the fireballs from that, how far would it go?
Oh, he could fly for 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Distance spell. Fly for 5 back.
Why do you?
Or if he's really smart and the ship's actually going towards
It's
the
like
general
having
direction.
a fighter pilot that you launch from the aircraft.
Or you know, if we're really, really smart, we can just like not attack them.
I was going to say, we could just not fight.
Yeah.
Do you have
Restrain him? I don't think he is
hallucinatory-
Israeli.
I think he's been replaced with an imposter.
I don't think so. Hang on.
If you get hallucinatory terrain, you can just make them not be able to see us.
I'm leaning more.
We are not a ship, we are an island.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
full film Australia.
Once that's changed,
Oh,
pop bank.
yeah.
At the
I don't
moment,
know.
I'm leaning chaotic good. Pretty heavily chaotic good. Because he's apologised to me.
I
I've had a
gave you a
good day. I've done something cool and people appreciate that. So I'm
You got a compliment from a dragonborn.
yeah, I'm heavy chaotic good at the
Did he
moment.
try and shoot at you or him?
Him.
Okay.
But that's the only reason I haven't gone and murdered him. It's because I am leaning chaotic good.
That's good. So ships.
I'm still lawful neutral.
In there's a game, I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. When you go into sneak mode, I love this so much. Like, you know, most games, when you go into sneak mode in computer games, they just have the character, like, you know, duck down and crouch and just, like, sneak along. This one, when you go into sneak mode, and I love it so much, you physically turn into objects. Like, you turn into a barrel or a bush.
Proper.
Sorry? No.
What is this?
I can't remember the name of the game. It's right on my
We're
computer.
getting sidetracked.
Metal Gear.
There's a number 2 that's just come out recently, and I can't remember the name of it. No, it's not Metal Gear Solid. It's your old typical RPG sort of turn-based game,
Never mind.
and I just can't remember the name of it at all. Live action Bard's Tale.
As long as we don't go live action Monkey Island.
Divinity: Original Sin.
Oh,
I played this, yeah. Big giant bushes and stuff.
Did someone say in the chat?
Talk to the captain.
Yep.
Or the. There are problems with the other ships. Just let us know. Give us as much warning as you can.
I'm sure everything will be fine. We've
We will
we've encountered these scallywags before.
I pose as well.
Oh, my friend, I got something new for you. See something along the horizon.
I'm going to see if I can outpose both of you.
Performs.
Yes.
I'm just gonna be sitting there laughing my ass off.
I'm rolling my eyes and just huffing.
15.
22.
Yes, that's the way. Oh, you have got it, sir. I am so impressed. Here, have some of my rum.
I'll add to something.
If we weren't,
Oh, pistol! Oh, this is good.
if we weren't just about to go into combat, hold us.
You've got someone with a scope, and they're looking at us, and all they see is him standing on the top deck with a pistol pointing at their ship, and it's like, what?
I have sharpshooter feet.
The captain's just like, you should probably be the captain now. Look at me, I am the captain now.
He just keeps failing his saves though.
As he came up to do, had started having a chat with him. His first mate's sitting there, just like discussing a few things with the captain. The captain's sort of like listening but not paying attention. As soon as you start doing the pose thing, he's like,
I feel like we're
Sigma,
not
give me
even
strength!
we're not even gonna have to become community.
I'm fucking lucky I've got. No, you don't understand. It's like, I look after books, you know. Bit of a shaky evening. Well, I'm not saying this nowadays, of course. You're lucky I make enough money to fucking make this worthwhile, because you're a fucking moron.
Can I do a stealth check? Standing next to the first mate, listening to him.
That's all you pretty much get out of it. It's like,
It's the worst.
he waits for the pose thing to pass. And
It takes a
continues on.
while.
Takes a while. He goes out, sit down, has a drink.
Like everybody around the ship just standing there, and everybody just.
I do have an idea for a sorcerer with gust of wind cantrip. Who every time they said their name would cast that so that their hair would fly backwards.
Do that as a cantrip.
No, we should do like if we do another D&D party, we just like one particular character is like the center of attention, and everyone else has all these different effects that they cast when he just introduces himself. Like us to win, prestidigitation.
Well, we kind of have that now. Just whoever's the star of the moment. Ignatius D, Scourge Varus,
Mascot.
Mascot.
Do you do like a fireball with no like burning effects around him as he, as his name is set?
Is that how?
You don't know careful spell, do you?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
There's a careful spell when you can use an incendiary or dangerous spell in a safe way.
Yeah, pretty much.
In a couple of levels, I'll be able to sort that out. Illusion spells and cantrips like minor image. A wreath of flame around your head as you walk through. And,
No, I'm actually happy you guys to do that if you thought of.
I mean, I could just cast fireball. Just blow everything up. That's
That's intimidating.
that is a backup plan. We've gone through this.
It's a whole spell. No one will know I did it. It'll just be.
Oh.
It is Ignatius D.
Walks in any time there's a fireball, we know you did it.
You could just have it go off
And
like
I'm just
20
be like,
feet above.
no,
That's
I
what
laughed
it's like.
at that
It's just
explosion.
literally explosion in the background and him walking away from it.
Thunderwave.
Cool men don't look at explosions.
Don't look at
That was like the boom that you can hear for 300 feet.
Yeah.
But everyone else has to be wearing black, so they're like stage crew.
I don't know.
Let's wait till my armor's done.
Yeah, everyone else is just taking like stealth checks and everything.
Everyone else is rogue. With multi-class something else.
Just like you do. Prestidigitation and illusions and stuff like that.
And one's a druid.
Why
so
do you have an extra wagon with 20 people on there? Duh. Backup dancers.
Why is everyone an arcade trickster?
And pass without a trace, pass.
Come on. That'd be entertaining. We should do a one-shot like that.
Alright,
Ravener.
Ravener, yes, no, I was getting to that. I did roll for it. Pretty much Ravener, leave you guys alone. One ship does come close to you, like probably 1 mile, maybe 2 at the most, which is cannon range. Just.
A mile?
Yeah.
Really?
Cannon range is long.
Not for swordcraft cannons.
Not for swordcraft cannons.
Not accurate cannon.
Not accurate cannons, no, but it is good. Back in the day, when cannons were the things for defending coastlines, the range of the cannon, I can't remember if it was 9 or 3 miles, represented the actual territory of that country. Is how far you could fire a cannon.
Oh.
Big Bertha from World War I could fire 1.6. I don't think a bronze cannon could
No.
fire.
Big Bertha was crazy big, but that's a separate.
Yeah, we'll look at that later. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. My misinformation could be wrong, but
If anyone is viewing this stream, could you
Yeah,
Google the distance of Big Bertha?
that whole
Fire?
one person who's doing this.
That's him.
It's currently me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if it's like lagging out or anything.
So please Google it for us.
For some reason, Big Bertha was like Berlin to Paris or something ridiculous.
No. It could fire from Calais to Dover.
What?
What?
I know both those places.
No, Big Bertha range was 75 miles.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to say, the average cannon range is 1,700 meters.
Yeah, it was 75 miles. It's literally shooting over most of Europe.
Yeah, no,
That's not
Big Bertha
most
was
of
like
them.
crazy artillery piece.
Yeah.
And then there was the Paris gun, which was even more ridiculous.
Yeah, no, so that's huge range.
I think we're all quite distracted.
We are distracted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ravenna gets within a couple of
Rabbit
miles.
gets with a couple miles. A couple of you notice a couple of flags get changed
on our ship.
on our ship and their ship because it is a bit of a communication thing. Then someone's sitting on the side going semaphore.
Oh, semaphore.
Can you read that as a captain? As a soldier? The semaphore?
I don't know. What would I need to roll for that?
It's
Probably had a background sailor.
Yeah, probably.
I've got background soldier.
That still gives proficiency in all vehicle.
There's a difference between like knowing how to haul and ropes and
Yeah.
Still probably not that important.
So it's some communication happens between them, obviously, and then the Ravener ship moves on. You see the fleet. Most of the Ravener ships are well known for being old technology per se, yet still very effective fighting ships. That's why they're still using them. Where a lot of the more modern ships, like the one you're on currently, are 2 or 3 mast and it uses sailing power. Ravener ships are well known for still using slave power, but they do have sails, but they're usually only 1 mast. So a lot of
Trireme, quadriremes.
type of stuff. They're slightly more modernised, and you can probably see that they have 1 or 2 cannons actually pointing out the front. So they've obviously the ships haven't been built with cannons in mind, but they've put cannons on the ships. But yeah, nowhere near as much as the ship you're on, plus other warships of other countries. But as you also know, they're very well known for shoot your cannons as much as you want. We're just going to ram you, if we can.
If they make it.
If they make it to you.
So if they're trying to ram us in the very last minute, do they gust the wind to
Change that direction.
No. For us to, they'll aim at us, and we'll scoot out of the way.
Yeah. And then I'll do my rope trick to board.
And then we'll leave you behind.
No, if this party was to board a normal ship, we would
decimate
mess things up.
There wouldn't be much left of the ship after we were done.
There would be nothing left of the ship after
I reckon we could hold off the fireballs long enough to obliterate the crew and commandeer a ship.
We could have our own ship.
Yeah.
No, we can. No,
We'll call it the Centurion Hawk.
That said, they are run by slaves, so someone will be rowing.
Yeah.
You need to keep the slaves around to make it work effectively.
Yes. Or just travel under one sail.
Anyway,
Allegedly pace.
Or have a lot of people with mage hands.
Mostly this day ends without too much interference from Ravener fleet. However, by the end of the day, that's when the storm comes in. The storm?
Head below deck.
Yeah, you head below deck where if you're not actually a sailor or anything like that, and you're more a liability than you are help. It's not that bad as you would expect, but they're all pull the sails down and whatnot and just ride it out until it's gone. Probably 2-3 hours later, I'm not quite sure because you're on the deck, it seems to lighten enough that people can come back out. The captain has kept it under safety, so the sails are still not out, so you're sort of floating around a bit. So there, where you would normally in the first few days, it's been okay because it's been forward motion mostly because of the sails. Because now you're lulling and you don't have any movement, you've basically got that down motion.
Oh, the wallow.
Yeah. So make Constitution saves, please.
Hey, it's a new day.
Oh, I was going to fail eventually. Nat 20! I'm trying to work out whether it's advantageous to just down an entire bottle of rum and pass out. 21! My character says yes. My character surprisingly very strong stomach. No point adding anything to a natural one because it's a natural proficient.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste
See, I got 22 and I'm not proficient. I rolled a 5, so...
I didn't enjoy being below.
So a natural 1, a 5,
13.
13. You're alright, it's not too bad. And a 5. Alright, so you 3 are throwing up.
I don't have much to throw up though because I just eat good berries, so it's just like
You're dry reading.
it's
just paste.
yeah.
Somehow you did. Like the very first time you throw up.
Somehow there's carrot there.
I was about to make that joke, you bastard! Stole it from me!
Terrible minds think alike.
Hey, where'd he get the carrots from?
Alright, so you guys who are sick for the night and the sleep, can you roll another Constitution save?
I can.
Ooh, hello. 17.
Oh, wow, another one.
Oh, I didn't get a 1 before, that's the problem. I'm not getting 1s, I'm getting 2 or
Disadvantage
3.
is the roll of 1. I rolled a 10 and a 12.
Okay, yeah.
I got a total of 14.
Okay, you managed to sleep through it without too much trouble. You, on the other hand, rolled a 1.
No, I rolled a 1 and then re-rolled because of luck.
Ah!
That's my problem before. I got a 3 that time. The last time you had me do it, I got a 2. It's like, fuck's sake, just give me a 1.
I'd rather epically fail rather than...
I'd rather re-roll my 1. No, 13.
I'm going to give Rowan some super watered down rum.
Mm-hmm.
So like mostly rum with a bit of mostly water with a little bit of rum in there to try and sort of calm things down and help him sleep.
So what did you roll?
I rolled a 17.
Okay, you're good. What did you roll at the once you 13? Alright, cool. You managed to sleep through without too much of a drama and not suffer from any fatigue or anything like that from the night before.
Do I learn from this?
In the morning, the sails go back up and the wind kicks in again, and the ship starts moving along its pace. Several days pass now, where it's pretty much uneventful. It's open seas and you don't see hide nor hair. Probably by day 3 or the 3rd day after this particular bunch, so we're into the 7th day, I believe.
Yeah.
Sorry?
7th day Adventists.
Right.
7th day adventurers. That's right.
7th day adventurers. You see another ship in the horizon sort of pass by. More of the flags change. Not many. There's a couple of flags here and there. Like the main flag stays, just a couple of other tail flags get changed. And then pretty much nothing eventful happens from that one. After this, it's boring. You guys, like the whole concept of what's happening in the sea and whatnot is now just boring. It's gone way past that novelty now. Every once in a while, you can't avoid it. You're just getting sick because there's a lull in the wind or something like that.
How many push-ups do I have to do the rest of the and can my dolphin form keep up with the boat?
Can you do that?
I don't see why not.
Another week passes, so we're like 14 days in.
I do have a question though. For the people who wear armor, are you wearing armor on the ship if there's not another ship in sight?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm literally going around in like
Shirt sleeves.
pants, and if I'm up working on my
to
armor
think
and
when you're
stuff,
wearing pants.
I'm literally like shirtless, just sitting cross-legged, working on my armor.
To me, you'll never know.
The beard covers everything.
The beard's too big.
The beard's plaited into like a bikini top now.
Unfortunately, paranoia. I've kept the leathers on, but they're not too much.
Yeah, leathers is not too bad.
I also don't wear.
You find that like every once in a while, one or two of the sailors do have leather on, like a leather vest or something like that. Alright, yeah, another week passes by, so we're into 14 days in now.
No, legit. How many push-ups do I have to do?
How long does it take to craft those bolts?
What's happening?
Craft the bolts.
The
I'm doing that. I'm not doing that.
Oh,
Now.
okay, yeah.
How many
I'll do
push-ups
it.
do I have to do
We'll
with
do it
dragon
We'll
boots?
do it off stream.
I'm just working at it every day, basically.
Also, if the ship is going up and down, you want it to be really slow and careful when
yeah, exactly.
attaching.
You guys,
acid to
yeah,
compound.
you get to the 14th
Fair
day.
point.
The navigator basically says we have officially reached the Assyrian Sea. And that's pretty much the only thing
Is there
that
a big
changes.
black line across the
Yeah, there's a big black line.
water.
The captain of the ship, while he's on
No,
his
it's a channel, like a valley under the sea, and it is in fact a.
no, it's actually a line. It's like a bit of string, just like about this high. And the captain sort of like forgets that it's there and then gets next.
And that,
I'll stand up with
So
the
we're
captain.
watching their ship now.
so if we're doing that every 14 days, it'd take a couple of months to travel. So we're here.
Sorry, what?
It
It also
having
depends
a
on
map, we get to look at
It
everything.
also depends on
Yeah.
whether they're going against or with the currents of the ocean.
Yeah, some days are faster than others and whatnot. It's very
Subjective.
yeah.
When we go around the Cape Horn,
Well, we
it's
should like just into the Australian Sea and be around to be something like that.
You find if you want to, you probably by now you probably understood that there's a certain amount of high tide, low tide type thing happening because of the way both the Tutok Bay and the Styrian Sea work. It's this really massive water because of it being a long bay and this really small outlet into the other oceans. There's this what happens the same with Port Phillip Bay. So the ocean fills up because of high tide and then filters in to the bay at a slower rate. So it's high rise and low rises are different because it filters in through that amongst everything else plus its own.
What you're trying to say is there's a powerful current something goes in the tides.
Yeah, so you find that like part of the day it's like straight sail with the wind behind you. Other days it's tacking to go against the current.
Alright.
another 2 weeks passed by. It was pretty much uneventful. You see the odd couple of ships here and there pass by. They look almost similar to this one, merchant ships of some particular type. And then on the horizon, you see the land, and you see that there's a small port that they're heading to, which is in the pretty much where on the map, if you look, if this is the same map as mine, there's a 13.6 sitting at the bottom there.
No, this doesn't.
No, this doesn't have it. Okay, so
it's-
not in the bay. It's right at that first point there. Yeah, where your finger is. Pretty much. Yeah.
First point of
Yeah, that's the one.
board.
And that's where we're heading. And that,
So it's in Free Cities.
yeah,
And that is going
that is where we end.
Okay.
That was
Gorgeous.
Yes,
I had a
bourgeois.
good game.
A good night to everyone else who's actually
Orgies.
watching, which is absolutely no one at this present moment in time. But at least, hopefully, someone gets to watch the video at the end of all this.
Hopefully. Okay.